Live from Vintage Throne Stadium in Springwater Township, Baycats TV presents the Inter-County Baseball League. And tonight it's playoff baseball round 2 as the London Majors are in town to take on the hometown Barrie Baycats. Hi everybody, welcome to the broadcast. I'm Ben Davy, he's Julius Hern. Here we are, round 2, game 3, and the Baycats with another chance to clinch a series in front of their home fans here at Vintage Throne Stadium. And what a playoff ride it's been for the Baycats so far. 5 playoff games, 5 playoff wins, and perhaps most impressively of all, they have not trailed in any part of those 5 games so far.
And a big reason of that is how good they've been in the playoffs at home this year. 48 hits total across their home games in these playoffs. That means they're averaging 16 hits a game in the playoffs right here at Vintage Throne Stadium. So they're really in the driver's seat looking to clinch an IBL Finals berth today.
Must-win game for the London Majors. Their backs are against the wall, no question about it. They're going to have to win 3 in a row, something they had done several times during the regular season. This is going to be a very tough challenge for them, however, and they've already used their 2 best starting pitchers. So of the 3 wins, tonight's perhaps might be the most difficult for them.
Absolutely. They're probably looking at a bullpen day. Alex Springer's going to take the mound to start for them this afternoon, but he has some starting experience. A couple starts last year, and his last start in this season was just last month. They went 7 innings, had a really good outing. So Roop Chandradat really trying to stretch as much as he can out of him, but you can probably tell he's going to have an early hook with their bats against the wall.
London Majors, Barrie Baycats with a chance to clinch. Let's get it started with the starting lineups tonight. Here's public address announcer Rob Daniels.
Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, welcome to Vintage Throne Stadium for season number 23 of Barrie Baycats Baseball. This second round best of 5 series between the Baycats and the London Majors has the Baycats up 2-0. Here are tonight's starting lineups. First for the visiting London Majors, managed by Roop Chandradat. Batting first and playing center field, number 6, Andrew Lawrence. Batting second, the third baseman, number 14, Victor Plaz. Batting third at first base, number 34, Caden Cardosa. Batting fourth, the catcher, number 26, Eduardo Diolio. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, number 35, Cleveland Brownlee. Batting sixth, playing right field, number 22, Byron Reichstein. Batting seventh, the shortstop, number 27, Gibson Kresmensky. Batting eighth in left field, number 13, Brad Verhoeven. And batting ninth at second base, number 29, Tristan Osika. On the mound tonight for the Majors, number 40, Alex Springer. And now, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, make some noise. Able to, and kindly remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem. Thank you. Hey fans, for over the past 2 seasons, United Way, Simcoe Muskoka has partnered with the Barrie Baycats on their in-game 50-50 draws. Together we have raised almost $30,000 to strengthen our community through the Barrie Food Bank's Home Runs for the Hungry by sending kids to Baycats baseball camps and by providing funding to other initiatives supported by your United Way. To everyone who has bought a 50-50 ticket over the past 2 years, thank you so much for making a positive difference right here in our community. Throwing out today's first pitch and representing United Way Centrate Simcoe Muskoka is Chief Executive and Philanthropy Officer, Mr. Brian Shelley. Brian, it's your pitch.
Great job, Brian, and a great way to kick off September baseball here at Vintage Throne Stadium. There is nowhere these fans would rather be than at this ballpark here tonight. Round 2 of the 2024 IBL playoffs.
A packed house for a Labor Day ball game that could be historic for these Barrie Baycats. Chance to clinch a finals berth for the second consecutive year right here if they can get it done against these London Majors.
Let's run down the lineup for Roop Chanderdat's Majors. Once again, it's Drew Lawrence in center field leading off. Victor Plaz, the former Baycat, at third, batting second. Caden Cardozo, the sensational first baseman, batting third. Eduardo De Olio behind the plate, handling cleanup duties. Cleveland Brownlee, the veteran DH, bats fifth. Byron Reichstein, the right fielder, bats sixth. Gibson Krasminski down to the number 7 spot in the lineup tonight. He's at shortstop. Left fielder Brad Verhoeven bats eighth. And the second baseman and number 9 hitter is Tristan Osika.
Getting the start here in Game 3 for the Baycats is Juan Benitez. His first start in the playoffs was exactly what Barrie would want in this game. 7 innings, 3 earned runs allowed on 6 hits against the Maple Leafs in the clinching game right here last week in Game 3 of the first round. So if the Baycats can get another quality start like that, they're going to be in the driver's seat heading to the IBL Finals.
6 o'clock. Monday night game, a little bit of a different situation here with the long weekend, but fans getting here on time and getting the energy going here nice and early. They are excited and hopeful to see a clinching game here at the home park in Barrie. Juan Benitez will get ready to throw out the first pitch. David Phillips is our home plate umpire tonight. It's Chubba Bay at first, Jeff Rose at second, and Ryan Jackson behind the bag at third.
We mentioned it in the intro, Ben, just how incredible it'd be to get another clinching win at home for the Baycats in front of these home fans after not having one at all since 2021.
First pitch from Juan Benitez is in tight. Ball 1, and it's a 6:10 first pitch here on this Monday night. Game time temperature 17 degrees. A very comfortable night with no humidity. And the wind is blowing from right to left. Benitez, 2-0 count now. On leadoff man, Drew Lawrence. Here's the pitch. And some good patience by Lawrence to get the count in his favor, 3-0. Majors need to win tonight by any means necessary. Would love to get some early base runners. Here's the pitch. Benitez gets the inside corner for a called strike.
Lawrence came in as a pinch hitter last night for Starling Joseph. But other than that, hadn't appeared in this series thus far. Getting the start tonight.
It's a fly ball to center field. Canisijo with a long way to go to his left. Dives, and he can't come up with it. It goes to the right field side. Fired in. And in with a double is Drew Lawrence to start the ball game for the Majors.
It's exactly the start you would have wanted if you're the London Majors. Canisijo made a great effort trying to come up with that. I've seen him make a few diving catches this year, but that one just a little bit too far out of his reach. And for Drew Lawrence, that's going to be a huge confidence boost after not having a hit in these playoffs so far.
So Victor Plaz will bat with a man in scoring position here and nobody out. We'll give you the Barrie defense after this at bat. And Benitez will work from the stretch. First pitch off speed, and it's in tight to Plaz. So Juan falling behind batters early here. Still early in this first inning, but fell behind Lawrence 3-0, and now he's behind Plaz 1-0. Here's the pitch. And it's popped up, a bunt attempt right in front of us. Lands about 3 benches right in front.
We've noticed that earlier in this series with Champ Garner in Game 1, how close there was to get one in our press box earlier. That one very close to us.
Those are the best chances for us, is the bunt foul off the top of the bat that goes over the screen and just kind of, rainbows over here. Because we are under a bit of an overhang, but it's a strike on the inside corner, 1-2.
Yeah, very rare you're going to see a full swing go our way.
If you had an Inspector Gadget arm, you could have extended it out and probably grabbed that. But 1-2 to Plaz. Benitez is ready. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. First strikeout of the game for Juan. It's brought to you by IMP North. 1 away.
We have an opportunity. We'll give you the defense for the Barrie Baycats. Behind Juan Benitez, Nola Macabrota in left field, Kenise Ejo in center field. Hayden Jaco back in right field after getting the start there last night, trying to keep his bat in the lineup. Adam Ott at third base, Brandon Hernandez at short, Roy Sando at second, Malik Williams at first, and Tyler Plumpton behind the dish. Kind of the same lineup and defensive structure we've seen all playoff long from Josh Matlow's Barrie Baycats.
Caden Cardozo 1 for 4 last night in game 1, in the 8-2 game. And then Cardozo went 3 for 5 last night, so he's got the playoff average up to 360.
Guy's probably been the most reliable hitter for these majors this entire season. Recall earlier this year, a 20-game-long hit streak to start the season and was just as consistent throughout the rest of the season as well.
Got to hand it to the majors. A 3-run bottom of the 9th last night at Labatt Park made it interesting. And they came up 2 runs short in the end. An 8-6 Barrie win. Here's the pitch. Outside, and the count is 1-2. Baycats had a 6-0 lead going into the top of the 6th. London finally got on the board in the bottom half of the inning. Here's the pitch. It's a fly ball to center field. Ejo has it drop in front of him. And runners on the corners now for the majors, with 1 out in the inning.
I'm not sure if Ejo got a good look at that ball off the bat. He seemed like he was kind of slow as he was approaching it. Not sure if he even picked it up right away as it was hit.
The sun is to the left of these outfielders, so not directly in their faces. Other than the left fielder, the other two should not have too many problems with fly balls. So this is a tricky time of the day, though, at 6 to 7 o'clock hour, where the sun is just sort of at that 3/4 point in the sky. So runners on the corners here for the majors and a chance to get on the board. Big at bat here. Eduardo De Olio at the dish. First pitch strike from Juan Benitez. Once again, Barrie has not trailed in 5 consecutive playoff games. The London Majors know that a big key to beating the Baycats is getting that first run and building an early lead. And a throw from Benitez to check on the runner. Be interesting to see if Cardozo might be thinking about a stolen base here and testing the arm of Tyler Plumpton. Only 1 out in the inning, so a throw down might be unlikely.
Well, Cardozo hasn't been caught stealing this season.
He is in Benitez's mind, no question, as he checked him with a sneaky throw over on the last time. Does not go after bluffing a start, and it's a called strike.
I'm surprised he didn't go on that bluff because he had a great jump. As much as Benitez was quick to the plate with that pitch, Cardozo had a really good shot to get himself into scoring position.
Likely won't go here because the last thing you want is to strike him out, throw him out, double play. Here's the pitch. It's a ground ball to short, to second, for 1. The relay to first, in time for the double play. The streak continues as the majors are held scoreless in the top of the first inning. Oh, fasten your seatbelts. We got some baseball in store for us tonight. Baycats coming to bat, still scoreless here at Vintage Throne Stadium. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on ESSA Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
Hi, I'm Christy Fans from Warner Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Moving.ca. For all your moving needs for over 35 years, Moving.ca. The original two men who just happen to be small, who make moving stress-free. Two small men with big hearts moving. We always have a big heart for you at Moving.ca.
At Domino's, mix and match any 2 or more pizzas and sides for just $8.99 each. Like when pizza night's more like pizza and lava cakes night, or pasta and stuffed cheesy bread night, or we're gonna need a bigger table night. Mix and match Canada's favorite pizza and more at Domino's.
Bottom of the first inning at Vintage Throne Stadium. Still no score. This first inning of play brought to you by McDonald's and Barrie, home of the free fries with 5 Baycat strikeouts.
Rup Chanderdat giving the ball to Alex Springer. We'll tell you more about him in a moment. Kinesijo steps in to lead it off. Brandon Hernandez bats second. Malik Williams, a hot-hitting first baseman, bats third. Ryan Rio in the cleanup spot. Nolan Macabrota in left field. Hayden Jaco in right field, batting sixth. Adam Odd, Roy Sando, and Tyler Plumpton round out the order for Barrie. So Kinesijo up to the plate, pitches outside from Alex Springer.
Yeah, Alex Springer, more of a junior call-up for the majors, but qualified himself with 16 innings in the regular season to get here for the playoffs. 5 appearances in the regular season, just 2 starts. But that last start, as I mentioned, August 21st against Guelph, 7 innings pitched, only allowed 5 hits, no earned runs, had 8 strikeouts. So he does have that potential to go the distance a little bit further for Rup Chanderdat's team, but could have an early hook.
A shallow fly ball to the right side. It's in fair territory, and the catch is made by the right fielder, Byron Reichstein, 1 away.
Let's give you the defense for the London Majors. Behind Springer, it'll be Brad Verhoeven in left field, Drew Lawrence in center, Byron Reichstein over there in right. On the infield, Victor Plaza, former Baycat. At third, Gibson Krasminski. At short, Tristan Osika gets the start at second base. Caden Cardoso back at first with Eduardo De Olio catching.
Well, if Alex Springer can give Rup Chanderdat innings here in this do-or-die Game 3 of this series, that will certainly make his manager more than happy. And first pitch swinging is Hernandez. It's a fly ball to left center field. Backpedaling and reaching up to make the catch is the left fielder Brad Verhoeven. 2 quick outs here behind Springer.
Well, that's exactly what you want if you're Springer. You know, with this, the idea of him starting today for Rup Chanderdat is much more of a bullpen day with using their top 2 arms in Travis Keys and Victor Payano in games 1 and 2. If they can win this game, that would, using the bullpen a lot today, would be more of a bridge to get them back to their 2 biggest arms to try and keep them alive in games 4 and 5.
Yeah, Travis Keys, who started game 1, would presumably be ready for game 4. Here's a fly ball deep right field, but the catch made by Byron Reichstein. So 3 fly balls. Great start to this ball game for left-handed pitcher Alex Springer. And the Baycats unable to reach base or score. We've played 1, it's still scoreless, here at Vintage Throne Stadium between the Majors and the Baycats.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on ESSA Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May.
London Majors coming to bat here in the top of the second inning. It's Cleveland Brownlee, Byron Reichstein, and Gibson Krasminski due up to face Dominican right-hander Juan Benitez. Got a double play, get his team off the field to end the top of the first inning. Cleveland Brownlee, who won a pair of Jack Dominico trophies with the Majors in 2021 and 2022. Steps in to face Benitez here. Benitez with the first pitch. Swing and a miss by Brownlee. Took a good hack, couldn't connect, strike one. Waggles the bat, waits for the 0-1 pitch, and he holds off as the pitch is low and away.
Another advantage that the Baycats have under their sleeve is that Benitez hasn't started against the Majors this year. The only time he's faced them was in relief. That was a 2-inning outing where on it's June 6th, where Carlos Sano got the start in that game. Baycats lost that one 14-9. Benitez went 2 innings, gave up 1 earned run on 5 hits.
Yeah, Josh Matlow really tinkered with this pitching staff as far as their roles early in the season. This one fouled back to the screen. Count 1-2. And Benitez did make some relief appearances, and Carlos Sano made a start or two in the early going.
Yeah, Sano had a couple starts against the Majors this season before he was kind of more permanently moved to that closer role in the bullpen.
Swing and a miss. Brought to you by IMP North. Benitez pulled the string, and Brownlee way in front of it, one away.
Yeah, really fooled Brownlee. He went in on his hands on that foul ball, and then that breaking movement on what looked like a slider there just had Brownlee guessing way out in front of it.
Byron Reichstein now, number 22, the right fielder. Steps up to the plate for the first time here to face Benitez. Reichstein hit just .212 in the regular season through 34 games. Majors hit .269 as a ball club in the regular season. First pitch way outside to him, ball one.
Well, Reichstein is really looking for some offensive momentum, you could say. Hasn't had a hit since game 3 of the first round against the Cardinals. So really struggling in this series so far.
Called strike as he gets the breaking ball over 1-1. Beautiful, warm, early evening here at Vintage Throne Stadium for now. The temperature is going to drop, though. I saw a single-digit overnight low on the forecast. Fly ball, center field. Ejo underneath it and makes the catch. 2 down. Really, 6 o'clock is a perfect start time for a late summer game. Like when you get into these final few weeks of September, you get that just tail end of the afternoon, nice warm weather, and then it cools off a little bit for the second half of the game. And
well, especially on a Labor Day holiday as it is today, and you're getting folks coming back from the cottage, making the stop at the ballpark on their way home, or you're keeping it early enough so that you're not disrupting the kids too much their first day of school tomorrow.
That's true, yeah. First day back for the young ones tomorrow. You know, that chilly fall weather is coming. Popped up, shallow outfield. 3 Baycats back for it, but it's the left fielder, Olin Macabrona. That's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Juan Benitez against the London Majors. We played an inning and a half. It's scoreless. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV Barrie.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend. From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. BarrieToday.com. Local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. BarrieToday.com. Your community, your news.
Time for the Baycats to potentially answer here in the bottom of the second inning. It's brought to you by JC Unlimited Contracting. Design, supply, build, renovate. Servicing Simcoe region for over a decade.
Alex Springer got a very quick 3 up, 3 down Baycat bottom of the first inning. Tough part of the order to face him here, though. Ryan Rio, Nolan Macabrota, and Hayden Jaco. Baycats very aggressive early in the first 3 at-bats, and Springer inducing 3 fly balls. 2 to right, 1 to left. Fouled back by Ryan Rio. These Baycats very aggressive at the plate, and the one way that could backfire is if they're not able to get on base and score. Keep that pitch count low for Springer and help him go deep in this game.
Well, and that's exactly what Roop Chanderdat's hoping for in putting Springer in this role.
That one hits Rio right in the back. First base runner, and it's the leadoff man aboard for Barrie.
Well, I wonder if he was trying to pitch around Rio. We all saw that big home run that he had in last night's ball game. We've seen how deadly that he's been in the playoffs altogether. So not what start you want to this inning and giving up a leadoff base runner, but if you're the Majors, turning that into a positive, it's better than seeing extra bases.
You look at this Barrie lineup, and there really isn't a place where you would go, okay, pitch around him to get to him. You know, most lineups have that at some point, but this Barrie lineup, 1 through 9, all of these guys can hit. First pitch called strike to Nolan Macabrota. I mean, there isn't a guy in this Baycat lineup that you would pitch around the guy ahead of him because you wanted to face him.
Well, even with Macabrota, he's not hitting up to his regular season average, just 5 for 23.
Deep fly ball to center field, back near the wall, and goodbye! It's a home run! Holy Macabrota! Nolan with a 2-run shot to dead center field, and Barrie back on top again for the first time in a game. 2-0 Baycats.
Third home run of the season for Macabrota. And scoring first every game. Every game has been a win for the Baycats, and today they're keeping that trend rolling as long as they can keep it going all the way to that 9th inning.
As long as you're leading, you've got a chance to win, and the Baycats have done it 5 straight games in this playoff run. Getting on top all 5 games. Lots of crooked numbers in the Toronto series. Really, game 2 of that series has been the closest call for them so far. Not including the 9th inning last night, but they had a big enough lead that fortunately they were able to avert any crisis there. But even in that game 2 against Toronto, Baycats drew first blood and kept the lead through that game.
Keep in mind how close game 1 of this series was until the Baycats finally got on the board in the 6th inning.
Line drive over third into left field. Base hit, Hayden Jaco.
Because in that game 1, it was a home run that got Barrie on the board. Malik Williams with a 2-run shot. Kind of the that same way it happened. Ryan Rio got on, and then Williams followed up with a 2-run home run.
Third baseman number 26, Adam Odd.
Manager Roop Chanderdat out for a mound visit already. Obviously, all hands are on deck in that London bullpen tonight. Whoever is here is ready to pitch.
Well, no one's throwing down there just yet, but this could be a good opportunity for Roop Chanderdat to just calm his pitcher down, let him know what the scenario is. Maybe a little bit of information on Adam Odd potentially.
That base hit by Jaco was the first ball that the Baycats have hit on the ground. They hit 4 straight in the air. 3 fly balls in the first, and then the home run by Nolan Macabrota. So here's Adam Odd. Still nobody out here in the second inning. Alex Springer, the left-hander, with a pitch, swing and a miss. Hayden Jaco, the runner at first. Again, the Baycats aggressive early in the at-bats here. Josh Matlow telling us before the game that they are wanting to shut the door here tonight. And this one hits to center field. It'll drop for a base hit. Drew Lawrence picks it up. 2 on for the Baycats with nobody out.
It's just been the theme of the last couple weeks for these Baycats, being able to string hits together, even coming off of a home run on multiple occasions like today so far, where a home run typically tends to be a rally killer, especially if innings keep going on and on. But the Baycats just keep following it up with base hit after base hit. Add him on. That's his 10th hit of the playoffs already.
So Royce Ando, the number 8 hitter, he has been hitting the ball very well. And the first pitch to him, he takes it, and it's just a little high for a ball.
Well, typically it tends to be for Ando. As long as he's keeping the K off of his part of the score sheet, that ball is typically in play and into the green part of that outfield.
Outside corner for a strike. Royce kind of tilts his head a little bit. I think he thought if that first one missed the plate, that second one should have as well. It's a 1-1 count. Here's the pitch from Springer. And it's on the ground into left field. They are going to send the runner. This is Hayden Jaco. The throw, nope, they put up the stop sign. It looked like Andrew White was wanting to send him. Jaco held up. It'll load the bases.
Well, would have been a risky call there for Andrew White to send Hayden Jaco. Looks like he was going to as he was about to round third base, but Brad Verhoeven, the left fielder, came up with that ball pretty shallow in left field. It would have been a really close play at the plate. So best not to risk it, still with nobody out.
Yeah, it looked to me like White was ready to wind up with that windmill, and looked down, I looked back up again, and Jaco was still at third, so. Baycats playing it a little conservative here with nobody out. Why not? The way this team is hitting, here's Tyler Plumpton, the number 9 hitter. It's a first pitch strike. It's a Plumpton, so what a jam here for Alex Springer. Already down 2-0, bases loaded, nobody out.
And Braden Farrington is now throwing in the pen for the majors.
Just missed off the plate outside. Count 1-1.
Like I mentioned, that part of the season and that with the backs against the wall for the majors, an early hook is a possibility here, and especially with the Baycats having just strung 4 hits together, including that home run.
Fouled over near the on-deck circle. So the Baycats, knowing they're going to face a pitcher here with only 2 IBL starts this season and wanting to finish it off here tonight. They smell blood. They're going for the jugular here. And they do not want this series going back to London for Game 4. Jumping out to an early 2-0 lead. Here's the pitch. Hit to third. They're going to go home for 1 to first for the double play. That is as perfect as you could have drew that up. 5-2-3.
Perfectly executed, and they took advantage of the relatively slow speed there of Tyler Plumpton. Victor Plaz playing shallow on the infield, being able to make that play really easily, the throw home.
A lot of baseball left to go here tonight, but if London ends up getting on top and gaining the lead, you might want to circle back to that play here in this bottom of the second inning, as it creates an entirely different situation here for Alex Springer now. First base open, 2 on, but 2 out. Well, if you're a pitcher, a 5-2-3 double play is really the best case scenario that you could ask for. They don't give up a run. Springer deals, off speed, it's high.
Well, the Baycats would love for Kenice Ejo to get going here. It's not very often you see him usually towards the bottom of the average charts in terms of the Baycats lineup. Hitting just 182 in these playoffs. That's 4 for 22, but 2 of those were doubles.
That's coming off a .363 regular season batting average. MVP caliber numbers,
Absolutely.
To be sure. 5 homers, 28 RBIs. You gotta know it's just a matter of time before he finds his groove at the plate here at the playoffs.
But despite his struggles at the plate in these playoffs, he's been so solid defensively. He started every game in center field for the Baycats in the regular season and playoffs.
Fouled back to the screen. Made the catch of the year in Toronto. I guess it's almost time to start looking through our top 10 highlights of the year.
Absolutely.
If that's not number one, I would be pretty surprised. We'll have to take a close look at a lot of the other plays, but a game-saving catch in center field would have been a 3-run homer and definitely would have affected the final score in Game 2 of this series. That came off the bat of Jonathan Salazzo at Christie Pitts. Just outside. Good take by Ejo. Count is full 3-2.
Well, Josh Matlow and quite a few Baycats players told me after that game that was one of the most intense baseball atmospheres, environments, games that they've ever been a part of. And the Baycats offense in that game, the only game they haven't had double-digit hit totals in these playoffs. That's how good they've been at the plate.
Springer's pitch. High. Ball 4. Bases loaded again. And here comes Brandon Hernandez. Well, if you look at that catch that Canisijo made, and if you never saw it, I highly recommend that you go to our social media channels and take a look at it, because it was a spectacular leaping grab over the center field wall at Christie Pitts. If you slow it down and look at it just kind of frame by frame, or you look at the still shot, Bob Hurley, our photographer, took an incredible still shot.
Incredible.
And look at the expressions on the faces of the fans on the other side of the fence as they see Ejo's glove reaching up for it. It's pretty cool. Here's a fly ball to deep center field. It'll hang up, and the catch is made by Drew Lawrence. Looked pretty good off the bat, but didn't have nearly enough, and Lawrence was right there. So the Baycats get 2, but a big bullet dodged by Alex Springer as the Baycats leave the bases loaded and can score no more. Play 2 innings, 2-0 Barrie. You're at Vintage Throne Stadium.
Moving.ca. For all your moving needs for over 35 years, Moving.ca. The original 2 men who just happen to be small, who make moving stress-free. 2 small men with big hearts moving. We always have a big heart for you at Moving.ca. The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield. The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room, and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats! From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
London Majors coming up. Top of the 3rd inning. They trail 2-0. Brad Verhoeven, Tristan Osika, Drew Lawrence due to bat here for London. Nice group of kids here at the ballpark. And if you're a youngster, where would you rather spend the final evening of your summer vacation than a baseball game?
This is the place to be.
Can't think of anything more perfect than that, and these kids are enjoying it. There's a little herd of about, well, there's 4 or 5 of them, I guess, right now. There were more earlier around the Baycat dugout, and they are right into it. First pitch strike to Brad Verhoeven
Well,
from Juan Benitez.
That home run by Noah Macabrota surely got them, excited and into the rest of this ball game for sure. With the Baycats now leading.
Ground ball to first. Malik Williams handles it, takes it himself. 1 away. 6 o'clock game, so none of them will be up past their bedtime tonight, I wouldn't imagine.
It's crazy to think that it's already a school night.
What was your back-to-school bedtime? Mine was usually, when I was really little, it would have been 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
but,
me too.
Usually 9:30, I would think, for most of those kids down there, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Of course, if there was a baseball game on TV, you'd always try to see if you could negotiate.
I was just about to say that.
Stretch that out a little bit, especially in October.
I was just about to say that.
And failing that, it would be transistor radio under the pillow. That's how old I am. Called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to Tristan Osika.
How far back in your day, how far would your radios reach in terms of signal?
Like as far as cities I could get stations?
Yes.
Yeah. I think the farthest baseball game I could get was St. Louis Cardinals on KMOX 1120. And they still have a flame-throwing signal.
That's awesome.
But I don't know if the Cardinals are still on that. They might have moved to FM. A lot of sports stations in the U.S. are FM frequencies now. So, yeah, for the AM channel surfers, late at night, especially, you can get those nice clear signals on a clear night. But, yeah, I think St. Louis would have been the farthest as Osika draws a walk.
You've told me you've gotten Chicago stations before, right?
Yeah, I love the Chicago team, still do, lived there for a few years. So before I lived in Chicago, I used to try to get the Cubs on 720, which came in pretty good, and the White Sox were on AM 1000, which is very close to 1010 in Toronto. So that was a tough one to pick up. Back to the top of the order now for Drew Lawrence. Yankees and Mets always were like 660, 770 on the AM frequency. They were easy to get. Tigers were on 760. Our London viewers, I'm sure, listened to Ernie Harwell for many years. Out of Detroit.
How about Boston? Or you just mentioned that, right?
Boston, yeah, you know what? There was a station in Connecticut. Hartford, Connecticut, I think, had like 1180, and they picked up the game from Boston because runner goes, popped over the screen, and Osika will go back. Yeah, I think Boston was on 590, which is our sports station, so you couldn't get that. But a station in Connecticut had it. Oh, Cleveland. Yes. Cleveland was, I think, 1100. So you learn all these stations and stuff, and you scan the dial, listen to baseball. That's a big way that I fell in love with the game. Little check swing off the end of the bat. The inside jammed him.
A big reason why I would imagine that Roop Chandradat finally gave Drew Lawrence a start. He went 5 for 9 in the regular season against these Baycats, and already 1 for 2 in these playoffs to be included his pinch hit appearance last night.
Well, managers like to do that if a player is hitting well against a specific team or even more so a specific pitcher. Let him go up there and take his licks. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out of the inning. Benitez pitch, just missed. Tyler Plumpton framed that. Thought he had the 3rd strike. Wasn't high, might have been outside. 3-2 the count.
Well, Lawrence had a leadoff start against Barrie on Canada Day.
That one is high, ball 4. That's that pitch at the letters, and we'll see how consistent Dave Phillips is with that tonight. The fans here at Vintage Throne Stadium don't think he's been consistent so far.
Especially with back-to-back walks now. The first one didn't really raise an eyebrow, but that one sure did. The last few pitches of that at bat against Lawrence. Not in these Baycats fans' favor, that's for sure.
So still just 1 out in the inning, and that pitch misses. A lot of umpires, for some reason, they are less likely to give you that ball up in the zone, like from the belt to the letters. That always seems to be a little bit iffy for some reason.
Well, Plaz against the Baycats in the regular season, 7 for 20, including a 4 for 5 game at this ballpark, but still yet to get a hit in this series.
Well, 7 for 20 doesn't surprise me. He has had some big games against this team since joining London. Big moment for him here. A couple of runners on, his team down by 2. Swing and a miss.
Well, in that first game against the Baycats, it was in London. He went 0 for 4, but then he immediately followed it up, kind of redeeming himself against his former club. That 4 for 5 performance in a big 14-9 win for London here. And he had a double and a home run, 3 RBI in that game.
Lifted foul to the right side. Well, Plaz just one of many former Baycats who have come back here and played very well against their former team. And if the Baycats advance, they could be seeing the Guelph Royals, and Carson Burns could potentially be back here. He's been playing in the playoffs for Guelph so far. Here's the pitch. Popped up, and that's going to be past the screen as well.
Well, you mentioned Carson Burns the first time, and the only time this season that he's got in for the Royals against the Baycats. He hit a huge home run in that game, but still yet to see action against his former team at this ballpark. So that would be a big storyline heading into the finals if that's the matchup.
Yeah, I'm sure the fans here will give him a nice welcome home. On the ground to short. Hernandez to second for one, and a good hard slide there by the runner, Drew Lawrence. The fans didn't like it. It took the second baseman off his feet.
And here comes Josh Matlow. He calmly walks out to get maybe a little bit of an explanation on that play. That was a really hard slide by Lawrence. It was going to be a tough turn no matter what. Brandon Hernandez had to go pretty far deep out to his right to get to that ball, and a quick turn. I'm surprised they got it there in time in the first place.
Yeah, without that slide, there's a good chance that they get Victor Plaza at first base and Josh Matlow out to just see if he can sway the umpire's opinion on that at all. You do see that called quite a bit, but
First baseman number 34.
I'm a little more old school than some. I like those good hard slides at second, but maybe Josh Matlow thinking that was a bit of a late slide. He didn't come off the bag at all. Like, it's not like, you know, he was like 5 feet off the base or anything like that.
Well, the thing is, had that not happened, that could have ended the inning here, so the majors can take advantage here with Cardoso at the plate.
So we'll see if London can capitalize on it. In any event, they get the out at second. So it creates a first and third situation with 2 out in the inning. Now, the slide was right into the bag, so I think was the right call by the umpire in that situation. If you come off the bag, and we have seen that, where a runner, you know, goes a couple feet off the bag a little bit to take the infielder out, or throws his arms up a little bit to obstruct the infielder, that good chance that will get called.
You also have to look at where that second baseman or shortstop is standing as he receives the ball.
Here's the pitch from Benitez. On the ground to second. Ando to first. In time for the out. Majors unable to score in the top of the third inning. Barrie holding on to a 2-0 lead. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV, Barrie.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
Domino's, mix and match any 2 or more pizzas and sides for just $8.99 each. Like when pizza night's more like pizza and lava cakes night, or pasta and stuffed cheesy bread night, or we're gonna need a bigger table night. Mix and match Canada's favorite pizza and more at Domino's.
Hi, I'm Chrissy Fans from Hern and Barrie Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Baycats lead it 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the third inning, and it's brought to you by Render 3D Quick, the #1 architectural 3D rendering company in Canada, working with thousands of builders, developers, architects, and more.
Julius, Hern, Ben Davy, and our Baycats TV crew here at Vintage Throne Stadium. Good crowd on hand here tonight, hoping to celebrate a round 2 playoff victory. What a party we had here when the Toronto Maple Leafs came for Game 3 last week, and Barrie clinched here at home. Another chance to clinch a playoff series here at home tonight. And they will face a new pitcher. Braden Farrington gets the ball from manager Roop Chanderdat.
Farrington went 3-1 in the regular season in 12 appearances. 2 of those were starts. Had 1 blow-up appearance in the first round against the Hamilton Cardinals, where he gave up 5 earned runs in Game 3 and 2 1/3. But pitched last night against Barrie, had a clean inning.
Called strike to Williams. He looks over his shoulder to have a quick chat with the umpire, Dave Phillips. So Roop Chanderdat must have an awful lot of confidence in his bullpen here in this do-or-die game, as Springer works just 2 innings tonight. Not sure if that was the plan from the outset. Springer got 3 quick outs in the first. Ground ball to first, or to the shortstop, and safe is Williams. Sorry, on the right side of the diamond now. Williams is aboard.
Yeah, it looked like that ball was going from the sun into the shadow. Caden Cardoso, the first baseman, had a really hard time picking that ball up. He had to reach up and went off his glove, and wasn't hit hard enough for it to go right to the second baseman, Tristan Osika, to back him up. So looks like that's going to be the first error of the ball game for the Majors.
When you think about it, with the 1-hour shift, like we started at 6 o'clock tonight, right? So it should be kind of similar to what a 7 or a 7:30 game would have been in June, right? A couple months ago when we had the longer daylight.
Absolutely.
So the daylight shouldn't feel that much different for us, but.
Well, what it does do is make it feel much more like playoff baseball.
No question about that. Wait till the temperature drops in a couple of hours. Here's the pitch to Rio, taking all the way, and it's high. Speaking of fall, I caved and bought a pumpkin spice muffin today.
Oh my.
On my way here. But you know what I really regretted about it? I didn't realize this. It was filled with cream cheese.
Oh, okay.
And I have not tasted cream cheese. I had a streak of 27 years of not tasting cream cheese until today. And I saw it, and I just thought it was whipped cream or something, right? And
oh my goodness.
I do not like cream cheese. To me, it's the most revolting ingredient.
That's crazy.
I don't know. People think it's weird, but to me, it just kind of tastes like sour milk or something. So,
I mean,
anyways,
kind of is.
Rio fouls it off. But I got to send out my thanks to the worker, the Tim Hortons worker, who I went up and I said, I'm going to have to buy another muffin. I didn't know there was cream cheese in here. She gave me my choice of muffin to replace it for free. Didn't charge me for it. And she gave me a cup of water, too, because I was quite obviously about to gag.
Don't see that kind of customer service very often anymore.
No, you don't. Malik Williams causing a little bit of a distraction out there on the bases. Yeah, I know for a lot of people, the pumpkin spice stuff, it's, blasphemous to start having that this early. Rio lines that to right field, base hit! Rounding second is Williams. He's going to go another 90 feet. Runners on the corners for the Baycats, nobody out.
Heads up base running there from Malik Williams. That ball hit pretty well down the line by Rio, and earlier this season you wouldn't have been able to see that kind of aggressiveness from Malik Williams. Not only just the urgency of the playoffs now, especially in this Game 3 with a chance to clinch, but his knee injury that he was recovering from kind of all season long. He's healthy now, so great to see that kind of effort out of him.
Nolan Mackup rode up, parked one over the center field wall, just a little bit to the left of straightaway center. You don't see many home runs hit to that part of this ballpark. He gave it a ride and gave Barrie a 2-0 lead.
Well, the one he hit last night in London was very well the same spot, just kind of, maybe 20 feet out to right center instead.
He has straightaway power that you don't see a lot of. A lot of these guys hit home runs, but they're, left or right or down the line. He can hit one deep straight away. Aiden Jaco on deck. Braden Farrington with the pitch. Swing and a miss. Ball had a weird little spin to it. Just sank. The bottom fell out.
Smart sequencing there from Farrington and Deolio. Had Macabrota way out in front of that.
1 ball, 1 strike. Another swing and a miss by Macabroda.
Well, you can tell he's looking for another one here.
So Williams at third, Rio at first. Macabroda's ready. A tall, upright stance. Waits. Pitch on the way. On the ground to second. Spin. Relay to short. No play at first. A run scores. Malik Williams is in. 3-0 Barrie. So it's a fielder's choice for Macabroda. Rio retired on the bases. 4-6 as the Majors trade a run for an out.
Still kind of a productive at bat. You know, sacrifice that runner going into scoring position for a man on first, but you still get that run, just that little extra cushion for Barrie providing to Juan Benitez. I think that's still only the first out of the inning. This part of the order has been incredible. And the first time they were up, and they're showing their strength already the second time up.
Another off-speed pitch. Jaco offers and swings and misses. That one sailed outside, and Jaco kind of lunging at that with that swing. And a check on the runner. Hayden Jaco, an IBL champion with the London Majors, and now trying to win one as a Barrie Baycat. Barrie up 2-0 in the series.
I'm sure this playoff series means a lot to Hayden Jaco being able to potentially beat his former team.
Another off-speed pitch. He lunges and lifts it to shallow right field. It's the second baseman over in the shadows to make the catch, Tristan Osika. Very tricky on that right side right now.
Yeah, all the shadows over there really playing a factor on that defense. We saw earlier with the error by Cardoso, that ground ball from Williams. Those fly balls, even with the sun kind of behind them towards that right field side, it's still going to be playing pretty tricky.
The right side is almost completely in shadows. The middle, the center field, is kind of half and half, and the left side almost completely in sunlight.
Yeah, it's like the sun is kind of, the shadows are kind of being striped from the trees kind of out in right field as the sun kind of goes that direction.
Yeah, shadows from trees are really tricky because you might be stepping from shadow to sunlight several times on a fly ball. It's not like buildings or anything like that. The shadows are a little more predictable, but
I have to imagine how much of a factor it's playing at the plate now. The entire mound, it seems like, where Farrington is enveloped by shade, but around home plate, sunlight.
High and away. Good take there by Adam Odd, the third baseman. Odd singled in the second. Baycats 2 in the second, 1 in the third, looking for more. They're on top 3-0 here. Here's the pitch. Called strike. Down in the zone, but called a strike by Phillips. So Phillips' strike zone seems to be a little bit lower than a lot of the players and fans liking here. He wasn't calling the high ones. Very generous to the pitchers on the low part of the strike zone. 3-1 is hit high and deep to right field. Up and over the head of the right fielder against the wall. Extra bases. Odd goes into second. Here's the throw to the plate. Not in time. Adam Odd with an RBI double. Nolan Macabroda in the score. It's a 4-0 Barrie lead.
Looked like Byron Reichstein in right field. He went back and had a pretty good line to get to that ball, but as it went over his head, had maybe lost it as it bounded against the wall. And Macabroda wheeling around third base. That play was close to the plate, but he ends up getting up in there standing. For Adam Odd, him at home this year, now looks like 4 doubles in the playoffs.
We have a moderate wind blowing in right now from right field. Without that, I wonder if that ball would have left the yard. So runner at second for the Baycats, 2 out. Popped up near the Barrie dugout. Is it playable? And the catch is made by the first baseman, Caden Cardozo, right against the fence. Tough catch to make with all those fans right in front of him as well. But he gets the third out of the inning, and the Majors are off the field. Barrie extends their lead to 4. As we head to the top of the 4th, you're watching Baycats TV, Rogers TV Barrie.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May.
Top of the fourth inning at Vintage Throne Stadium. Baycats on top by a score of 4-0, looking to advance to the IBL Championship Series for the second straight year. They can do so with a win here tonight. This is Eduardo De Julio. Catcher comes to the plate to face right-hander Juan Benitez, out for his fourth inning of work.
Well, after a shaky first inning, Benitez really settled in a quick second inning, and a little bit of trouble back in the third inning, but we've seen it this year. He's been able to bounce back so well with runners on behind him.
It was the double play off the bat of this guy, Eduardo De Julio, that eliminated any potential threat in that top of the first inning. Looked like a good opportunity for the Majors to score and break that Baycat streak of not trailing in any inning of the playoffs so far. Fly ball, deep left center field. Ejo, a couple steps over, makes the catch. One away. So we have a couple of fan questions here, and we'll be honest right off the top. We have not prepared to give conclusive answers to either of these, but one fan is wondering, has any team ever swept all three series in the IBL, i.e. run the table? So the Baycats 3 straight over Toronto, going for 3 straight here over London. If they were to sweep in the finals, four in a row. I seem to recall the Baycats ran the table one of the championship years last decade, but I can't say for sure.
I have to agree with you. I think I remember one of those 6 straight championship years they won every playoff game. But
yeah, that was a period of time where I was not covering the team, so I can't say conclusively on that. Foul ball over the backstop. Second question, has any team won a best-of-5 series after being down 2 games to none in the IBL finals? And pretty sure that the Brantford Red Sox came back on the Baycats one year. Barrie led 3-0 in that series. Brantford won 4 in a row.
I remember in 2014, these Majors against the Baycats in the finals.
Called strike. Cleveland Brownlee didn't like that call. He's caught looking at strikeout for IMP North. And that is the third strikeout of the game for Juan Benitez. So after tonight's game, especially if the Baycats win this in advance, we'll check with Baycats historian Tim Clark, who has all kinds of information like this, and he can probably find some real interesting historical facts for us.
Well, I remember in 2014, it was these two teams matched up in the finals, and Barrie got out to a 3-0 series lead. London came back, won 3 straight, and then Barrie finally got the job done in Game 7.
But this streak of consecutive innings not trailing in the playoffs, I mean, the IBL has a long and storied history. There's no way we could possibly go season by season and find out if it's happened before, but anybody that we've talked to so far, including us, can't recall that.
There's so much beyond what's kept.
Right back to the mound, Benitez with the throw. It's a good one. It's in time for the out. That was a 3-up, 3-down, 4th inning. And the Baycats come to bat in the bottom of the 4th, leading 4-0. You're watching Baycats TV, Rogers TV Barrie.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend. From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. BarrieToday.com. Local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. BarrieToday.com. Your community, your news.
Bottom of the fourth inning at Vintage Throne Stadium. It's a 4-0 lead for the Barrie Baycats. This fourth inning of play brought to you by Clarkson Bins and Junk Removal, the local source for simple, clean, and reliable disposal bin rental and junk removal services.
Tyler Plumpton, the catcher, will lead it off for Barrie. Bottom of the fourth inning. Barrie looking to add to a 4-0 lead. So 9 times 5 is what, 35? 45.
40, yeah.
No,
45.
sorry. 9 times 5 is 35.
45.
Plus 4, 45. Plus 4 is 49. So 49 consecutive innings of not trailing in the playoffs.
Incredible so far.
Really incredible. This would be the 50th, or the next inning would be the 50th inning. Plumpton fouls it to the right. Public address announcer Rob Daniels drawing some boos from the crowd here when he announced the possibility of Game 4 in London on Wednesday and then Game 5 here on Thursday. Nobody wants to be back for those. Actually, it was more me booing than the fans, but still. An unpopular announcement, to say the least. Fly ball center field. Easy catch for Drew Lawrence, 1 away. I guess Thursday potentially could be Game 1 of the finals if the Baycats wrap it up here, and Guelph could also win their series tonight.
I think if both series end tonight, as far as what I've heard, if both series end tonight, Guelph Royals and Welland Jackfish in their Game 4, it's on right now actually. If both series end tonight, Game 1 would be looking like Thursday night right here.
Who would have thought the pennant-clinching Welland Jackfish would be facing a do-or-die situation here tonight, and would again and potentially in Game 5 if they win tonight?
Well, it's kind of crazy that them winning the pennant really didn't help them much. 1-3 at home in the playoffs.
You play all season for that pennant and home field advantage in the playoffs. That's really the only thing you get. You get the extra game at home, and you get to start the series at home, if you consider that to be an advantage at all.
And to be fair, they were really lucky to win that Game 2 in Guelph.
Fly ball left field. It is up and it is gone! Cuddy Sejo parks one to left. A solo home run. 5-0 Baycats.
That's got to be a huge boost of confidence for Kenny Sejo, a guy that's been struggling at the plate, coming in tonight under 200 average during the playoffs, that being his first home run, and a big one. It's that extra insurance. Now a 5-0 lead for Barrie. That is huge.
Here's Brandon Hernandez. He hits one almost the exact same spot. Will that one go? Drops in front of the fence. It'll be extra bases. Hernandez will call it a double. And how about that? 2 balls in a row. Hits almost the exact same spot in the outfield. Ejo's had enough to leave the yard. Hernandez has fell just short.
Brandon Hernandez has been incredible in these playoffs. Every game coming in tonight, he's had multiple hits. And that one being his 4th double of these playoffs. He's been on fire offensively.
And a conference on the mound. Roop Chanderdat will bring in the whole infield, including the catcher, to chat with Braden Farrington, the second pitcher for the Majors here tonight. Want to thank our good friend from Toronto, Alan Ross, for letting us know the 2017 Baycats had a bye in the first round and then swept 2 4-game series, best of 7. So they won 8 in a row with the bye, so that must have been a 9-team season. I'm not sure how that would have worked.
Yeah.
So if they got a bye.
Yeah, don't quite remember how that playoff format was.
9 teams in the league, you could have had a bye, and then. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that was the 4th of 6 consecutive championships for the Baycats, as Daniel Gore is throwing in the Majors bullpen now, so a little bit of a check-in there from Roop Chanderdat.
Roop has used 2 mound visits of his 6.
11 in the bullpen for
You can't take them with you, so may as well use them when you need them. And it is do or die for the Majors here tonight. That one fouled over the screen for a strike. Malik Williams, 1 for 2 tonight. Gotta say, these Baycat fans have to feel pretty fortunate that the playoff series so far, the way they've gone, is that they've opened at home with game 1 here, and they clinched at home in round 1, and now a chance to clinch at home here tonight. If you get the first game and the last game of the series in your park, gives you a chance to really enjoy these games.
Well, Barrie had such a good home record during the regular season, 16-5. Very rare for them to lose on home field. They haven't lost at all yet in these playoffs, so definitely taking advantage of being one of the higher seeds in the league.
Farrington deals, and it's hit on the ground, through into right field. They'll send Brandon Hernandez. The throw's cut off. 2 runs so far for Barrie here in the 4th.
Brandon Hernandez was limping a little bit as he was rounding third base, so I wonder if something might be wrong there. It was such a nonchalant wave around third for Andrew White, the third base coach. Hernandez scoring easily, and it looks like that's going to be it for Braden Farrington.
Not often you see a manager use 3 mound visits through 4 innings, but Roop is out, and he's going to make a pitching change here. So that will do it. Farrington will leave the game, and the Majors go to the bullpen for the 2nd time here tonight. We'll take a break and be back. Baycats winning here, Game 3 of the 2nd round playoff series. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV Barrie. Ryan Rio comes to bat as the London Majors will send Daniel Gore to the mound, their 3rd pitcher of the night.
Daniel Gore, this will be his 4th appearance in these playoffs, pitched an inning in the 3rd in last night's game, gave up 1 hit, had 3 strikeouts. A regular season had 16 appearances, 2 of those were starts, pitched to a 4.82 ERA in 28 innings. More than twice as many strikeouts as he had walks in the regular season.
First pitch to him high and away. So runner at first. Here's the pitch, and it's a high pop-up. That is well out of play over near the bullpen. Bounces off the metal bleachers.
Well, Daniel Gore is a good piece to have in this specific situation if you're Roop Chanderdat. More of a bullpen arm that can give you 2, 3, maybe even 4 innings, as long as those are clean innings. Hasn't allowed an earned run in 4 appearances. That goes back to the regular season.
1-1 the count. Runner leads. Pitch from Gore. Foul into the glove for a strike, 1-2. When I first met Ryan Rio, I asked him, how do you pronounce your name? Is it Rio or is it Riho? And he said either is fine. And I thought he was just being nice. And I actually found out today that the reason he said either is fine is because both are correct. He said Riho is the Spanish pronunciation. And I'm not sure if Ryan speaks Spanish or not, but Rio is what we kind of have gone with, the English pronunciation of his name.
I don't think he speaks Spanish, but I know he has his family, I believe, has some South American heritage, if I'm not mistaken.
So both are correct, but we've gone with the English pronunciation, Rio. Baycat veteran's been with his club for, I guess, 7 years now. He is ready, as is Gore. Pitch on the way, and it hit him. Second time tonight Rio's been hit. That one down near the lower part of the leg.
Yeah, those inside pitches earlier from Alex Springer and now from Daniel Gore just riding too far in against Ryan Rio. He's one of those guys, and like you mentioned earlier, it's no real player on this Baycats lineup that you can pitch around. And Ryan Rio, a great example of that, especially him hitting in that cleanup spot.
Yeah, no one's intentionally putting Ryan Rio on base to face this guy, Nolan Macabrota. You saw the damage he can do. 2-run homer to get Barrie on the board in the second inning. Swings and misses at the first pitch. Reached on a fielder's choice in the third, but scored, so he's crossed home plate both of his plate appearances so far here this evening.
Both times he's been up, he's been looking extra aggressive at the plate, and that first time it paid off with a home run.
That one sails away outside. Count 1-1. Baycats anxious to put this one out of reach. They're up 6-0 already. We're in the fourth.
Yeah, Cleveland Brownlee will be pitching at that point.
That time is called.
That would be fun. That would be amazing.
Daniel Gore takes a walk around the mound. Dave Phillips kicks some dirt off home plate. Macabrota digs in. He's ready. 1-1 pitch coming up. Gore looking at the runner. Comes to the plate. Swing and a miss by Macabrota. 1-2 the count. He has struggled with those off-speed pitches.
Left-handed batters typically not as good against Gore opposed to right-handed, so Gore kind of the reverse splits if you're the Baycats.
Cool Cat walking around behind home plate, giving some high fives to some fans. You see some mascots of some teams actually stand behind home plate and try to distract the pitcher. Cool Cat is on his best behavior here tonight.
We'll love seeing him at the ballpark, that's for sure.
He's got a little pack of fans following him around. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Good take by Macabrota. Count is even. Two on for the Baycats. Williams and Rio. Nolan Macabrota about to see a 2-2 pitch from Daniel Gore. Here it comes. Swings and misses. Big strikeout from Gore. 2 down in the inning, and here's Hayden Jaco.
Malik Williams had a really long secondary lead at second base there. Got the throw over from Eduardo De Olio after the strikeout. So you know the London Majors catcher keeping an eye on both base runners.
Well, if you're the London Majors, you really need to get out of this fourth inning. You're already down by 6 runs. Try to get Juan Benitez out of the game, get into that Barrie bullpen. We know it's been thin here in the playoffs in terms of middle relief arms. Try to do some damage in the middle innings and chip away at this 6-0 deficit. It's not going to be easy. Gore needs a third out here in a big way. Here's the first pitch, and it's snared by the catcher, Eduardo Deolio, to keep that one from going back behind him.
Jacob getting the start in right field tonight, but his bat being in the lineup so valuable, you're okay with having him in the outfield.
And he hits this one to center field. And over to reach up and make the catch is Drew Lawrence, the center fielder. So a big third out for the Majors, but the Baycats add 2 to their 4-0 lead and make it a 6-0 ball game through 4 innings. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield. Moving.ca. For all your moving needs for over 35 years, Moving.ca. The original 2 men who just happen to be small, who make moving stress-free. 2 small men with big hearts moving. We always have a big heart for you at Moving.ca. The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers and go Baycats! From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
Top of the 5th inning at Vintage Throne Stadium, and the Baycats with what looks like a commanding 6-0 lead here in Game 3 with a chance to clinch their spot in the IBL Finals. Brandon Hernandez still in this ball game. We saw him limp a little bit as he came around to score in the bottom of the 4th inning. But big for the Baycats, keeping him out there at shortstop. It looks to be okay, walking just fine as normal. 7, 8, 9 in the Majors order due up here against Juan Benitez out for his 5th inning of work. It'll be Gibson Krasminski. First pitch to him in there for strike 1. Krasminski in last night's ball game led off, went 2 for 5. But dropping down to that 7 spot in favor of putting Drew Lawrence in that leadoff spot for London. Broken bat. Scary play for Benitez, but easy scoop up and throw onto first for Hernandez for the first out. That big chunk of the barrel there nearly hit Benitez had he fallen off to the other side of the mound, but as he tosses it back to the Majors dugout. Could have been a scary play, but the Baycats do get an out of it. Here's Brad Verhoeven. First pitch just low. The Majors left fielder. Grounded out leading off the 3rd inning his last time up. He sees that one just above where the last one was for strike 1. Verhoeven came in as a pinch runner last night for Cleveland Brownlee. And there's nearly the same pitch for strike 2. And time is called by, it looks like Verhoeven calling time there. Fans getting into this one for the 1-2 count. Pitch on the ground towards second. It'll get through for a base hit. 1 out knock for Brad Verhoeven.
Second baseman, number 29, Tristan Osika.
First hit for the Majors since the first inning. Just the third of the game.
Yeah, and we kind of mentioned this in the top half of the inning, but if you're London, this is the inning. You want to get to Juan Benitez here, get him out of the game, get into that bullpen, get the Baycat middle relief guys out there. Some of them have really struggled in the playoffs.
There's a fly ball, a floater in the left field. A sliding attempt by Macabrota. He can't come up with it. Throw on the second's not in time to get a sliding Verhoeven.
Well, I'm not sure if that would have been a catch if he kept it in the glove or not. It was a great effort. It kind of squirted in and out. Nice effort by Macabrota, but good opportunity for the Majors. Now 2 on, nobody out here in this 5th inning.
Well, it seemed like the only way he was going to be able to keep that in the glove is if he would have, snow coned it a little bit. But that impact of him sliding, hitting the ground, hard to hold on to that one. But that'll bring up Drew Lawrence. A double and a walk in this ball game so far. First pitch is on the ground towards the Baycats dugout. Foul.
Juan Benitez more than capable of getting you deep into a ball game and pitching to those late innings, but if you can get him out of the game and get a middle reliever in there and try to chip away at this 6-0 deficit, that's what London needs to do. And Christian Lazar, Ryan Lacasse, Brandon Hillier in the Baycat bullpen, all of them have had their struggles at times.
Well, he's been able to go at least 6 innings in a lot of his starts this year. That one catches the zone. It's 1-2. Lawrence had a question about that one as he steps out. But a double play here for Juan would be huge. Got it earlier in the first inning to get out of a jam there. As time is called by the batter Lawrence.
That looked like the same spot. That looked like the same spot. I think it's because in the first one, the catcher reached this way. The next one was dead center. He moved over.
Benitez looks in.
Look at where the catcher is. You look where the ball crosses the dish.
1-2. Called strike 3. Lawrence not happy with that. It's an IMP North strikeout for Juan Benitez.
Well, not only was he not happy with that pitch, it was the one before him that I think really kind of rattled him a little bit mentally. And he was just frozen on that last pitch by Benitez that was kind of in the same spot, but up a little bit more in the strike zone.
That's strikeout number 4 for Benitez in this one. He had 4 in his only other playoff start this year against the Maple Leafs. That one was a 7-inning outing in Game 3. As rides it inside against Victor Plaz, 1-0. Big opportunity here for Victor Plaz against his former team. 2 out, looking for his first hit of this series. The 1-0. Foul just back to the screen.
Well, the sun has pretty much completely set down the right field line, so that is good news for those outfielders who have been kind of battling in and out of those shadows for the first half of this ball game. And boy, the temperature sure dropped as well.
Absolutely.
Still a comfortable night at the ballpark.
1-1 pitch outside.
Summertime heat disappears quickly when you start getting into these September evenings.
The Majors hitting .222 as a team with runners in scoring position and 2 out during these playoffs. Big cut and a miss from Plaz. It's 2-2. Looked like he was a bit out front of that breaking ball from Benitez. And here come the fans. Another 2-strike count. Seen a lot of these lately. Gets a sign and comes set. Here's the pitch. Popped foul just beyond us.
Plaz saw a pitch he liked, just got underneath it though. Unable to drive that ball, and that's what he's looking to do. Get it over the infielders, put the ball in play, try to get home at least 1 run here. Just get London on the board, some momentum offensively.
Another 2-2. There's a fly ball deep into left field. Going back is Macabroda. He will make the catch on the warning track. Spun around a few times in order to make that catch, but he gets Benitez out of the jam. Still 6-0 as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. This is the IBL playoffs on Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
At Domino's, mix and match any 2 or more pizzas and sides for just $8.99 each. Like when pizza night's more like pizza and lava cakes night, or pasta and stuffed cheesy bread night, or we're gonna need a bigger table night. Mix and match Canada's favorite pizza and more at Domino's.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
I'm Chrissy Fans from Hern and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Bottom of the 5th inning is brought to you by Phaetrum Aluminum and Siding, quality above all else.
Adam on to lead it off for the Baycats, then Roy Sando and Tyler Plumpton after him. 7-8-9 for the Baycats in this bottom of the 5th inning against Daniel Gore back out for his 2nd inning of work. Adam on a 2-hit game so far, came oh so close to a home run out to right field, but it was a big RBI double. He flies that one out left side, foul territory. Victor Plaz ranging out there, and he will not make the catch. It falls about 5-10 feet in front of him.
So our PA announcer, Rob Daniels, texted me something today, and this might interest you, actually. It's a broadcast auction that the Toronto Blue Jays are doing to call a game with TV announcer Dan Schulman.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, it's not the easy way to get to the broadcast booth, I guess, but you could do it if you had the winning bid.
And it's in New York.
So I'm assuming that would include your trip to the game and flight and everything. That's quite a prize.
That would be awesome.
It's probably well beyond anything I could bid on, but...
Yeah, me too. I mean, that would be an incredible experience. There's... Oh, just gets a piece of that one.
So it's a Jays Care Foundation fundraiser.
Yeah, they do this big broadcast auction every year, and it's, you know, a big, full, like, entire game event. It's incredible to see when they do that on their broadcasts. They always had some big prizes. I remember a couple years ago they had one. It was a marlin fishing trip with Buck Martinez. Out in Florida.
Wow, that would be incredible. Of course, Baycat, or former Baycat, now Blue Jays radio broadcaster Ben Schulman got his broadcasting start right here in Barrie with this team. The Barrie Baycats sat probably right where we're sitting right now. Now he's a major league announcer, so
incredible.
He can call a game with his dad anytime, I'm sure, but for you and I, that would be quite a thrill.
Well, they did that one day, I believe it was 2019 right here, and they called the game together.
Yes, I remember that. Now, it got me wondering if we could do a Baycats version of this somehow and have somebody without, but then I realized, like, literally anybody can sit next to us anytime.
Exactly.
While we're announcing the game. That's not really a thing. It's just, you know, I don't think anybody would bid on that.
There's a deep drive straight away center field going back, and it is off the wall. Another one, oh so close to a home run. He's going to go for 3. Adam Maud will have a stand-up triple.
Well, Adam Ott has found some power over these last few weeks. After a little bit of a slow start to the regular season, he's catching fire at the right time. Love the decision for him to take third. Kept his head down and just kept going around second base. He knew if that ball stayed in the park, he was going to have a good chance to stretch that into 3 bags, and that's exactly what he did.
We knew exactly just by the reaction of Drew Lawrence, the center fielder. As Royce Ando, that one's into the Baycats dugout. Scary shot there. Hopefully everyone is okay in that Baycats dugout. Judging by the reaction of the club, seems like everyone's okay.
So if any fan here at this park ever wanted to sit with us while we call a game, they literally could just come up here and do it. It's not something we could auction off.
We're so open, right?
It's just sort of a open opportunity.
Line drive center field. It will drop for a base hit. Odd will score a RBI single for Royce Ando. 7-0 Baycats.
That's an easy RBI for Royce.
The catcher, number 44.
Dunked that one right into center field, and Adam Odd crosses home plate. 7th Barrie run of this game.
So after Adam Odd gets the first triple of the playoffs for the Baycats, Royce Ando gets his second hit of the game, and it adds another one on for Barrie. Bring up Tyler Plumpton looking for his first hit of the ball game.
Rup Chanderdat sending more arms down to the bullpen, it looks like. Literally all hands on deck today. This team needs to empty the tank and put everyone out there as needed to avoid a 3-game sweep to these Barrie Baycats.
1-0 to Plumpton from Gore. It's in the dirt. It's go all the way to the backstop. Ando will take second easily. Make that a wild pitch for Daniel Gore. It's crazy to think. So those 2 hits by Odd and Ando have put the Baycats now at 11 hits for this game. Every game they've been at home, they've had double-digit hits. They only had 1 game without double-digit hits. That was Game 2 against the Maple Leafs. And it's also crazy to think now that Tyler Plumpton, in this 5th inning, is the only batter now in the starting lineup for the Baycats to not have a hit in this game.
Yeah, it's been a common occurrence on our score sheets if you look back on the 5 games of this series so far, that every Baycat, or nearly every Baycat, 7 or 8 of them at least, are getting on base every single game. It's been a well-balanced attack that hasn't just been built around 2 or 3 guys.
Called strike on 3-0, Plumpton taken all the way. Every Baycat had a hit in Game 2 last night. That one rides it on Plumpton. He'll take a walk. So now 2 on, nobody out. But for the top of the order, Kanisijo. And if he can do what he did last time he was up, it would break this game much further open. But we're going to get a mound visit here from Rup Chanderdat.
Yeah, the Baycats not making this easy at all on Daniel Gore and the London Majors. They smell blood. They are going for the jugular here tonight. The Majors with a lot of work to do now to try to overcome this deficit and get it back home for Game 4. If they can do that, they got Travis Keys for Game 4 and Victor Payano for Game 5. They could make it a series, but the way that this 3rd game has gone so far, nothing has been in their favor tonight.
Well, Skylar Janice is throwing in the Majors bullpen, that being now the 3rd mound visit already for Rup Chanderdat, and I just saw him motion over to that bullpen saying, hey, let's get this going, hurry up and warm up.
Yeah, he looks very impatient and is not going to waste any time. We saw him give Alex Springer the hook after just 2 innings. And Springer had a very quick 3 up, 3 down first. But the 2nd inning was where he got into trouble. Baycats sent 8 men to the plate, 2-run homer by Nolan Macabrota to get it started, and he got the heave-ho after 2 innings.
So including that RBI single now from Royce Ando, who stands at 2nd, Baycats have scored in each of the last 4 innings, including the 5th. And this will be back to the top of the order for the 4th time tonight. First pitch from Gore to Ejo. Here's a blast out to left field. Verhoeven stands at the warning track. He makes the catch. Ando will tag from 2nd. He will get there with a slide. So, oh so close for 2 consecutive home runs for Kanisijo, but he moves the runner up.
Yeah, still only one out in the inning, so the Baycats with an opportunity to continue to make some noise here. 1 run scored already here in the 5th. Now you got a 1st and 3rd situation with Ando and Plumpton. Brandon Hernandez looked like he was struggling a little bit. Not sure if it was a hamstring or seems to be okay, certainly okay enough to stay in the game.
I wonder if he maybe just took a misstep as he was rounding third as he scored last inning, but as you mentioned, seems to be okay. He's up for the 4th time tonight, looking for his 2nd hit. Grounds it on the right side. Tough play for Osika. He's going to try and turn 2. The pick at 2nd is good for the out of Plumpton, but a run scores. It is 8-0 Baycats on the fielder's choice.
Well, a good job by Gibson Krasminski to time that arrival at the bag. Got his foot down in time for the throw to get the force out there, and at least they get 1 out. Could have been an inning-ending double play, but that was a difficult spin and throw from Osika at 2nd. Fielder's choice for Hernandez. Looked pretty good running down to 1st there.
Yeah, no matter what, even if he went to 1st, it was going to be a tough play for Osika to make. But he ends up going for 2 and just barely gets Plumpton, who's with a nice slide. Made it tough for the London defense, but they have 2 out now. So 1-0 here on Malik Williams, who singled his last time up. The pitch. Reaches for it, goes down the line, but foul just beyond first base.
Well, fortunate for Caden Cardozo. That ball just a few inches from being on the fair side of that foul line.
We've seen it a lot from Malik Williams this season. Being able to go down that right field line oh so often. Especially for power. That one would have just been a nice seeing eye single for him. Seeing a 1-1. It goes to left field now. It will drop just foul. Had a little bit more power in that swing, but a little early on it.
Well, that line drive down the left field line, that's 2 balls now, both down each of the 2 baselines. The 1 weakly hit ground ball, and then that line drive, which would have been all kinds of trouble if that had been just a couple of feet to the right down that left field side.
Well, because of that, it's so hard to judge, defensively where you want to play Malik Williams. Kind of have to go straight away, and that's what the majors are doing now. 1-2, 2 out. There's a base hit to left field for Williams. Inning stays alive for Barrie. That'll bring up Ryan Rio with 2 on.
Well, this whole inning, Roop Chanderdat has not been in the dugout. He's been basically standing on the warning track in front of the dugout, and now he's going to make that walk to the mound. And it looks like we're going to see Skylar Janice. We saw him in game 1 of this series. And it looks like this is going to be the end of the line for Daniel Gore.
Yeah, Skylar Janice making his way out of the bullpen for the London Majors. That'll be it for Daniel Gore. We'll see the 4th pitcher of the ballgame for the London Majors here in the 5th inning. Take a quick break. We'll introduce you to Skylar Janice right after this. Ryan Rio will face the new pitcher of the ballgame, the fourth for the majors in this Game 3, Skylar Janice.
Ryan Rio has been hit twice in this ball game. Janice is going to pitch him carefully here, I'm sure, with 2 runners on. London in desperate need of a third out here in this 5th inning.
Hit twice by 2 different pitchers. He's got a good situation here. 2 out, 2 on. Rio grounds it foul on the right side towards the Baycats dugout.
Skylar Janice, very effective out of the bullpen for the majors. A little surprised, actually, that Roop didn't bring him in a little bit sooner before the score unraveled, but had a very good regular season. 14 appearances out of the bullpen and put together a 1.56 earned run average.
That one awfully close to hitting Rio. It gets past Diolio at the backstop. Hernandez and Williams move up into scoring position.
Now, that would have been a trivia question. Last Baycat to get hit 3 times in a game by 3 different pitchers. Almost happened there.
You see it all in baseball. You see it all.
Somebody would be putting that in the YouTube chat, I'm sure.
I'm sure. You mentioned how good Skylar Janice has been. Hasn't allowed an earned run, including the playoffs and regular season, since July 26th against the Maple Leafs. That's a string of 8 consecutive appearances without allowing an earned run. But more of a pitcher that the majors will use out of the bullpen in short inning appearances. That one rides inside again, similar to the same pitch that got to the backstop.
Well, he's been very effective, and again, that brings me to the question why Roop wouldn't have brought him into this game a little bit earlier. He was going to give Alex Springer such an early hook. This, to me, in my mind, would be the exact kind of guy that you'd want to have in your game early on. Get through those middle innings before the lead got up to 8-0 here.
Rio, inside curveball, fouls it off, counts full.
Either way, Roop Chanderdad is not going to be saving anybody tonight. You don't see that in an elimination game where it usually will fall on one pitcher. You use every arm available, especially when you're coming from behind. And Roop has been very active with his bullpen tonight. As I said, he hasn't been in the dugout at all. He's been standing in front of the dugout all night. Truly trying to manage his way out of elimination here.
Line into center field, but it's going to be right at Drew Lawrence, who makes the catch to end the inning. That's Champ Garner now in center field, pardon me. Baycats strand 2, but they put on 2 more. It's 8-0 as we head to the 6th inning. You're watching the IBL playoffs on Rogers TV and Baycats TV.
Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May. From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
Welcome back to Vintage Throne Stadium. 8-0 Baycats lead here in the top of the 6th inning. and defensive replacement. It'll be Kyle Maves at third base. He comes in the spot for Brendan Hernandez, moving Adam Ott to shortstop.
Yeah, we thought maybe Hernandez had a little bit of an issue running the bases a couple of innings ago. Looked like he was okay, but out of an abundance of caution, I'm sure. 8-run lead. Josh Matlow wanting to take no chances and maybe get him off the field a little bit early tonight. Baycats with plenty of depth, and Kyle Maves has played well defensively this season.
Caden Cardoso leading off for London. Josh Matlow described Kyle Maves to me as kind of like your, if you're looking at basketball terms, like a sixth man. He's the first guy off the bench.
Well, he's very similar to Brad McQuinn, and it's almost easy to get those two guys confused. I mean, McQuinn's a little taller, I think, but...
Well, they provide basically the same skill set. They bat from the same part of the plate.
Bench players, lots of speed.
1-2 to Cardoso, just outside.
Both have had lots of playing time this season.
We saw both those players, McQuinn and Maves, get starts in right field in these playoffs, but Matlow opting to use Hayden Jaco in right field in these last couple games, keep his bat in the lineup. 2-2 is grounded right in front of the mound. Benitez grabs it, throw into first is high, but in time. Malik Williams making the grab just above the head of Cardoso for the first out.
Got to give Juan Benitez a lot of credit coming off that mound. He knew exactly how much time he had. Kind of had to wait for that ball to take that final little skip before he could barehand it, pick it up, make that quick throw. One of the better fielding pitchers in the IBL. Throw was a little high, but not too high, and it was in just enough time to get the speedy Cardoso.
Benitez, one of the best fielding pitchers in the IBL, I would say. Just the plays that he's able to make off the mound are very impressive. That one of them for sure. But a big part of that, him being able to get the soft contact. It's going to be key against Eduardo Deolio, who grounds to third, testing Maves right away. Makes a nice play. The scoop and throw is in time to get Deolio.
Wow, we just talked about how adequate Kyle Maves is defensively, and then some. A little bit of a tricky short hop there, handled it fine, made a clean throw. Did everything perfect on that tricky ball hit to third base.
Yeah, really had to jump up and snag that ball in front of him, as it was very hard hit by Deolio. A couple ground outs, leave two down, and it'll be Cleveland Brownlee. Struck out both times he's faced Benitez in this game. First pitch is just outside.
Gotta love these young kids here tonight, and the whole crowd is great, but the kids especially really bringing some energy to this ballpark. A little pack of about 4 or 5 of them that have been running around. They were chasing Cool Cat around earlier. And they've got some signs that they're holding up, some creative signs.
Yeah, there's one there that says, one of them said, "Here we go, Baycats, here we go."
And the whole crowd was chanting along with it, so.
Yeah, give us an update on them.
I believe there was one that said sweep earlier that we saw in between innings.
Yeah, we saw our first sweep sign. Haven't seen any brooms. I was wondering if the fans would bring brooms tonight.
I'm surprised we haven't seen any.
Yeah, that was a bit of a surprise.
Even in Game 3 against Toronto, we didn't see any.
We saw at least one sweep sign.
Cleveland Brownlee way out in front of that one. It's 2-2 on the verge of his third strikeout of the game.
And the fans were doing the wave again here between innings, so.
It seems like these kids are really the leaders of the crowd tonight. 2-2 from Benitez. Swung on and missed. IMP North strikeout to end the top of the 6th inning. Baycats still leading this one by a score of 8-0. We head to the bottom half right here at Vintage Throne Stadium. You're watching the IBL playoffs on Baycats TV and Rogers TV Barrie.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend. From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. BarrieToday.com. Local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. BarrieToday.com. Your community, your news. Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend. From basic to cosmetic dentistry, smiles on ESSA.
Baycats coming to bat, bottom of the sixth inning. It's brought to you by Moving.ca, two small men with big hearts moving, making moving stress-free for over 35 years.
There's Cool Cat getting the crowd riled up here in the bottom of the sixth inning at Vintage Throne Stadium. Julius Hern along with Ben Davy and our entire Baycats TV crew. Game 3 of the IBL semifinals. The Baycats, the commanding lead not only in this game but in the series, 2-0 with a chance to clinch their spot in the IBL finals for the second consecutive year.
Yeah, it's been basically the same story every game. Barrie putting their foot on the gas early and not letting up.
Macabroda launches that one into center field, but it's right at Champ Garner who makes the catch. Garner coming in at the top of the sixth inning to relieve Drew Lawrence, who started the game in center field.
So tonight for the Baycats, 2 runs in the second, 2 runs in the third, 2 runs in the fourth, 2 runs in the fifth. And one of the Toronto games was very similar. I think it was game 3 where the Baycats didn't score in the first inning, but that was the only inning they didn't score in. And they pretty much ran the table the rest of the way.
Just keep adding on and adding on. It seems to be the motto for these Baycats offensively in these playoffs as Jaco fouls that one down on the right side. Skylar Janice back out for the majors here in the sixth inning. Jaco, a little nubber over the second baseman. Tristan Osika will scoop it up, and a little easy play for him for out number 2.
Well, the majors haven't had a 3-up, 3-down inning on the Baycats since the first. And if there was a time for one that the majors would need, it's here with Skylar Janice on the mound.
Janice has been able to shut down pretty much every team in the IBL this season. We mentioned he hasn't given up an earned run in over 9 appearances. But Adam Odd right here, as he fouls that one away, he is a home run away from the cycle. A single in the second, a double in the third, and a triple to lead off the fifth.
That's when you're supposed to be loud, when your team is on.
Had an incredible playoff run so far for the Baycats in that 7th spot. He grounds that one on the right side. Osiko back at it. And he'll make the play for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down. Go the Baycats in the bottom of the 6th inning, but they still lead this one by a score of 8-0. Ben Davy back on the mic for you for the rest of this ball game as we continue forward. Game 3 of the IBL semis right here on Rogers TV and Baycats TV.
Hi, I'm Chrissy Fans from Hern and Barrie Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield. Moving.ca. For all your moving needs for over 35 years, Moving.ca. The original 2 men who just happen to be small, who make moving stress-free. 2 small men with big hearts moving. We always have a big heart for you at Moving.ca. From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on ESSA Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
Play is presented
Top of the 7th inning, the Barrie Baycats 3 innings away from the IBL Championship Series, and they're looking to nail it down here tonight in front of a great crowd at Vintage Throne Stadium, one of the biggest crowds of the season, certainly one of the most lively crowds. And Juan Benitez back out for his 7th inning of work. He has thrown 86 pitches here tonight.
Well, just 9 more defensive outs, like you mentioned. And the great thing about this crowd so far, usually would see in the regular season when the score gets to this point, at this point in the game, it's 8-0 in the 7th. Fans start to leave, and especially at this point, you might expect it on a school night, Labor Day, Monday. But these fans have really stuck around. They want to see the Baycats clinch it at home.
Oh, yeah, they're going to hang around here for the post-game party, no question about that. And Barrie now with 51 consecutive innings of not trailing. Playoff innings going back to round 1, game 1 against Toronto. Pretty amazing. So if this score holds, this lead holds, they will go 54 innings. 6 straight games of not trailing once. It's pretty hard to do.
And they've barely been tied as well.
Barely been tied because they're scoring like tonight in the 2nd inning. That's happened a couple of times. There's a high fly ball to left field. It's playable for the shortstop, running over and making the catch, Adam Odd. 1 down in the 7th.
Well, the wind has died down here at the ballpark. That ball looked like it might have carried out a little bit further to left field. We saw Macabroda kind of having to come back in towards the infield to make that play, but Adam Odd, shortstop's more of his primary position. Well, he prefers to play. That one looking very easy for him.
Juan Benitez very regularly hits the 100 pitch mark, and he'll try to do so again here today. Called strike. Fly ball, straightaway center. Ejo under it, has it for the 2nd out.
The left fielder, number 13, Brad Verhoeven.
There's a couple of balls in the air. And Brad Verhoeven bats with 2 away in the 7th. Juan Benitez has had 2 3-up, 3-down innings today. 5 strikeouts in the ball game.
He's been able to limit the hits so well. Just 4 hits through these 6 2/3 for Benitez, which has been very impressive.
And for the first time tonight, we see some action in the Barrie bullpen.
Yeah, Brad Grieveson's throwing. It looks like another pitcher about to get throwing. That looks like Ryan Lacasse.
Popped up, left side, over near third base. Losing sight of it was the third baseman, Kyle Maves. Not sure if he would have got over there in time for a play anyways. He was nowhere near it.
Yeah, really easy to lose the ball in the sky at this time of day. The sun is just set, kind of that twilight part of the evening. Brad McQuinn actually said to me before game 1 of this series that he thinks that Barrie has the worst sky in this league.
Now, how can the sky of one city be consistently worse than any
I
other
know,
city?
right?
I don't know.
Yeah, he was telling me it's so hard to see in that that little span just after sunset.
Line drive to short, and it's right into the glove of Adam Odd. A 3-up, 3-down 7th for Juan Benitez and the Barrie Baycats. Stretch time to take me out to the ball game and heave away. Baycats coming to bat, up 8-0 here at Vintage Throne Stadium.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room, and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats!
Domino's, mix and match any 2 or more pizzas and sides for just $8.99 each. Like when pizza night's more like pizza and lava cakes night, or pasta and stuffed cheesy bread night, or we're gonna need a bigger table night. Mix and match Canada's favorite pizza and more at Domino's.
Coming out of the 7th inning stretch at Vintage Throne Stadium, it's brought to you by Psycho Solutions, full automotive service from headlight to tailpipe.
The bright yellow shoes of Skylar Janice back out on the mound here for the bottom of the 7th inning as the Baycats look to build on an 8-0 lead here on a potential clinching game for the Baycats at home against the London Majors here in round 2 of the 2024 playoffs.
Skylar Janice has already gone through an inning and a third against the Baycats in this game. He's only had 4 appearances throughout this whole year of more than an inning and a third. The last one was August 14th, went 2 innings against the Guelph Royals. Actually got the win in that game, one of 2 that he had in the regular season.
Roy Sando with a double play, a single, and a run scored. High and in. Count 1 and 2. Elsewhere on the out-of-town scoreboard, the Guelph Royals with a chance to clinch tonight against the Welland Jackfish. And that is game 4 of that series, I believe?
Yes. So
they are in Guelph. Swing and a miss by Endo. Strike 3. So Guelph with a chance to clinch at home over the defending IBL champions tonight.
I believe Welland didn't have a game last year where they were at the threat of elimination. That's how good their run was last year.
Yeah, an incredible run by the Jackfish in jeopardy here tonight. A pennant-winning season. But of course the playoffs are all that matters, and their backs are against the wall tonight at Hastings Stadium in Guelph. If they can force a game 5, that would be back in Welland.
Well, if you're looking at some positives for the Jackfish, their only win in this series was game 2 in Guelph.
Ground ball to third. Plaz fields it cleanly. The throw's there in plenty of time. 2 out here on the 7th. The Jackfish have a time-honored tradition of playing children's songs for the visiting players when they come to bat. And I thought it was just Baycats players that they were doing that for, but I think it's all teams because I was watching a bit of the Guelph series and I noticed that when the Royals came up, it was, sometimes it was VeggieTales, sometimes it was Disney.
The Wiggles.
Wiggles. I think I heard Paw Patrol. And I had to think, that's got to be the coolest thing if you're a kid and your dad plays for the visiting team and you're hearing, the theme from Paw Patrol when your dad comes up to the plate. Isn't that...
Yeah, I know,
wouldn't that be a cool thing? I know the kids must absolutely love that at Welland Stadium. And then I was thinking they better be careful they don't lose some of their younger fans to the visiting teams because if you're playing the kids' favorite songs when the opponents come up to bat, that's...
Yeah, it's
I don't know if that's the smartest thing or not.
Really towing the line there, trying to keep your young fans, right?
But the kids love it, and I bet you some of the visiting players love it too. So,
I remember last year I asked the Baycats about it during the finals, and they said they didn't really notice it, to be honest. They were just that locked into try and get those finals wins.
2 balls and a strike. Leadoff man Kanisi Joe off the inside of the bat, and it's foul. Well, that makes a lot of sense, and especially in the playoffs. You're in the zone, you're not hearing anything. A lot of these guys, they're not hearing the walk-up songs or the announcements or anything like that. You are locked in at what your job is to do at the plate, and
a great example of that is Josh Garton on the Royals, who is usually so bubbly with the kids at the ballpark during the regular season, but during the playoffs he seems to be all business.
And that one drilled Ejo right below the shoulder. Janice says, "My bad." He kind of takes a couple of steps towards Kanise, just make sure he understands that was not intentional at all. Last thing he wanted some sort of confrontation in that situation, and that quickly de-escalated anything that might have developed.
Yeah, obviously that's very scary for Kanise. That went up high. Looked like it got him in the shoulder. Obviously, tough count for Janice. Obviously didn't mean to do that, and he was guy that's very non-confrontational on the surface. It's just very scary for Ejo.
Yeah, even after Ejo got to the bag, Janice was still kind of looking over at him, just sort of showing his concern. Now, this has not been that kind of a series.
Absolutely not.
There was a little bit of concern that something might develop in the Toronto series. That never really happened.
There's a lot of respect between the players on these two ball clubs, that's for sure.
Brandon Hernandez now. pinch hitter for Hernandez, who was taken out of the game, and batting in the number 2 spot now is Kyle Maves. Hernandez today was 1 for 4. So this is Maves' first at bat.
Jared Lund, the lefty, now throwing in the bullpen for Roop Chandradad's Majors. Have to imagine he'd be the next man up in the 8th inning.
It's funny that you said next man up, because when we talked to Roop at the start of the season, those were the exact words he used to describe his ball club. Yep. He said next man up. That's how it's been all season long with this club, and they have battled injuries all season, and even here in the playoffs, it's really tested the depth of their roster. But they put together a really good regular season and were able to get home field advantage in the first round and then win their first round.
That's still a phrase that he uses even when I talked to him today, of how he keeps saying that, you know, his team's been really beat up, especially since the All-Star break. You know, and typically you'll see that in the pitching staff and the bullpen. You know, guys, you got that wear and tear on guys' arms, but Victor Plaz told me today he was kind of running through the guys, you know, different ailments on the team. He said usually it's not position player group, but that just happens to be the case for the Majors.
Swing and a miss by Maves with a runner going, and a big fist pump and a scream by the pitcher Skylar Janice as he heads off to the mound and makes a little bit of a gesture towards the Baycats bench as he heads off with his hand, and now looks over his shoulder, but gets some congratulations from his teammates as he comes off the field. So, Baycats unable to score. Bottom of the 7th. We go to the top of the 8th. Barrie on top 8-0 here at Vintage Throne Stadium.
The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room, and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats! From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May. Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend.
But,
here come the London Majors in the top of the 8th as Juan Benitez's night comes to an end. He will turn the ball over to veteran right-hander Brad Grieveson.
And Brad Grieveson making his first appearance of these playoffs. We're here in Game 3. Thought we might see him maybe once or twice in that round against the Maple Leafs, but Josh Reynolds held off against using him until this moment. Get him some innings, especially with a cushion like an 8-0 lead he has right now.
Gets a ground ball to first. The toss to Grieveson, covering the bag in time for the out. Great job by Grieveson, the right-hander, getting his momentum shifted the other direction and covering the bag. So some defensive changes. Macabrota now at first for Malik Williams.
Yeah, taking over for Malik Williams, and his spot in the lineup will be James Anderson, who moves over to left field.
Back to the top of the order we go, Champ Garner. I'm gonna say Brad Grieveson inspired me to kind of grow my beard out a little bit. And
Yeah, I noticed you were letting it go a little bit for the playoffs. So,
well,
you know.
I'll tell you, I was at Vintage Throne Barber Lounge a couple weeks ago for my pre-playoff haircut and beard trim, and Claudio said to me, he's like, why don't you let that grow out a little bit? Like, it doesn't have to be as long as Brad's, but just give it a little bit of, a little bit of length, and then, you can get some of that definition on the lower part of the profile. Popped up to the first base side, Macabrota with an easy catch, 2 down. So I thought, well, we'll see, maybe over the winter, we'll see what I can do with it a little bit, and I'm not sure how long I'll keep it growing out, but
It looks good.
Thank you, appreciate that. Brad has obviously one of the best beards in the IBL.
The bearded wonder himself.
Victor Plaz, third baseman with 2 outs. Boy, the Majors have been pretty stone cold since the 5th inning when they got 2 singles off Juan Benitez. Benitez with a pair of 3 up, 3 down innings. The 6th and the 7th, and now Brad Grieveson trying to get one in the 8th.
Grievous's last outing was one of the last games here at home against the Barnstormers. He took the loss in that game. He came in to shut it down in the 9th inning and blew the save. We know that it's been kind of a struggle in his innings this year compared to last year, so definitely a good bounce back opportunity here with that 8-0 cushion.
Well, we'll see how much fight the Majors have left in them, down to their final 4 outs now, and as good as this lineup is, they don't seem to be playing with a whole lot of desperation here in the second half of this ball game. Just 4 hits, Juan Benitez tonight throwing 96 pitches.
Well, if you remember in game 1, when the score got a little bit out of hand here, saw a lot of bench, players coming off the bench for Roop Chanderdat.
Fly ball, deep left center field. Ejo with a long way to go. It'll drop. Goes all the way to the wall. It's extra bases. Victor Plaz stops at second. So it's a 2-out double. Here's Caden Cardozo to the plate.
First hit of the series comes maybe as late as you can get it for Victor Plaz.
Only the 5th hit of the ball game for London.
I was just about to mention that we saw in game 1 a lot of defensive replacements for the Majors, but we haven't seen that yet in this game. Trying to keep all their starters out there as much as they can. We've only seen 1 replacement, and that was Champ Garner coming in for Drew Lawrence.
Well, give all the credit in the world to Juan Benitez, who did exactly what he had to do here tonight. 7 shutout innings. This one flared to left field. That's a base hit. And they're going to send the runner home. Running over to pick it up, James Anderson. Victor Plaz in to score easily, and the Majors finally get on the board. Well, that was a long time coming. Gives that London dugout a little bit of energy, maybe just a flicker of hope here.
Well, there's been 3 innings now, including this one, where the Majors have been able to get 2 hits. Now it's 6 for the game, but took them 2 extra base hits in a row to finally get on the board. That one just a nice placed ball down that left field line for the lefty Cardoso.
Eduardo Deolio. Cleveland Brownlee behind him, and Deolio hits that to left field. That's a base hit. And rounding third is Cardoso. Up with the throw, Anderson. It skips off the glove of the third baseman, and taking an extra base on that throw is Eduardo Deolio. 3 straight hits for the Majors here on the top of the 8th inning.
Yeah, that was a great swing by Deolio. It sounded like he might have broken his bat on that. See Victor Plaz at the top of the step. He's taking a look at that. The power of Deolio able to get it out there above a leaping Kyle Maves. James Anderson just didn't have enough on the throw to get Cardoso at the plate.
Andrew White out to chat with his good friend and teammate Brad Grieveson, Tyler Plumpton out there as well. Boy, you talk about 3 guys that have been around this game for a long time. Out having a veterans conversation on that mound.
Well, all 3 of those guys in kind of second stints with the Baycats. Andrew White as on the coaching staff, and Grieveson and Plumpton as the battery in this ball game.
Well, the Majors have come out in this 8th inning swinging the bats against Brad Grieveson, and that's what you got to do. He's going to find the strike zone. He doesn't walk a lot of guys, so you're going to see good pitches to hit, and they certainly have here in this 8th inning.
Yeah, just 7 walks in his 12 appearances in the regular season.
First pitch down to the zone to Cleveland Brownlee. Boy, add up the years between these two, the career IBL years. Cleveland Brownlee, Brad Grieveson. That would probably be the highest total you could get in
Absolutely.
a pitcher-batter combination.
You have to wonder how many times these two guys have faced each other. I mean, the first chunk of Brad Grieveson's tenure in the IBL was pre-2010 when Brownlee entered the league.
Yeah, if we had StatCast or something, that would be interesting to look up. Head-to-head, how these two have done over many years of baseball. Grieveson just missed on that one, and now he's behind 3-0. And we just mentioned Brad's excellent control finding the plate, but he's struggling now.
I have to imagine Brownlee's got the green light here.
Taking all the way, it's a called strike. Well, the thought process there, you need base runners. Make Grieveson find the plate. He made no mistake there. 3-1. Even when Brad falls behind 3-0, you still feel like he's not going to walk the guy. But that one there he does. It goes off the glove of the catcher Plumpton, and up to third base now will go Eduardo De Olio.
Cleveland Brownlee struck out all 3 times he saw Juan Benitez tonight, finally getting on base there against Brad Grieveson. Just a patient approach. Not trying to do too much with the pitches he got from Brad Grieveson, and ends up getting it to first base.
Carlos Sano, who closed out game 2 of this series, looks like he's throwing now in the Barrie bullpen. And they will try to get to him here by getting this third out here of the 8th.
We saw Ryan Lacasse earlier up and moving around as Grieveson was throwing. He could be an option as well, but if you want to be sure of getting this one, Carlos Sano is a better bet for Josh Matlow.
Popped up, behind second, backpedaling the shortstop, Adam Odd, makes the catch! And that'll do it. Majors scored 2. It's still a 6-run game. Barrie comes to bat in the bottom of the 8th inning. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on ESSA Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield. BarrieToday.com. Local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. BarrieToday.com. Your community, your news.
Bottom of the 8th inning at Vintage Throne Stadium. It's an 8-2 lead now for the Baycats. This inning brought to you by United Way Simcoe Muskoka, making poverty unignorable. To learn how you can help, you can visit uwsimcoemuskoka.ca.
Defensive changes for the Majors as Brad Verhoeven takes over behind the plate for Eduardo De Olio. Charles Bowman will take Verhoeven's place in left field. And it's Jared Lund out to pitch, the 5th Major of the night. 4th reliever for Roop Chanderdats. James Anderson up to the plate for the first time tonight.
Chanderdats started the game with a lefty, and Alex Springer goes back to the lefty, and Jared Lund.
So Anderson batting in Malik Williams' spot. The number 3 spot in the order, Ryan Rio, cleanup man on deck.
Second time that Lund has appeared in the playoffs. First time in this series during the regular season, a 6.6 ERA in 11 appearances.
8-2 Baycats, bottom of the 8th inning. Lund with the pitch. Didn't miss by much. Anderson with a nice take on a 2-1 pitch. Works the count to 3-1. Well, we asked Baycats manager Josh Matlow at the start of Game 1 of the Toronto series what he thought this Baycats team needed to do to level up. Called strike there, 3-2. And the first thing he said was, I'd like an early lead. Scoring early in the ball game, and he mentioned how good the pitching was and that this team was hard to beat when they're playing up on the score, and that's exactly what the Baycats have done, leading in every inning of every game of this series so far, including tonight. After tonight, they'll have led in 54 straight innings. Tonight, 2 runs in the second, 2 runs in the third, 2 runs in the fourth, and 2 runs in the 5th.
It's been an extremely impressive offensive showing, not only in this series, but in the first round as well, as you mentioned. 12 hits, giving them 8 runs in this ball game already. And they're looking for more here. They're what looks like it's going to be their last time at the plate tonight.
First pitch from the left-hander to Ryan Rio, sails outside. And it's been a consistent, sustained attack from the offense as well. They haven't just been relying on 1 or 2 crooked numbers. And tonight is Exhibit A for that. Lots of offensive production in more than just a couple of innings. Seems like every inning the Baycats are sending 5, 6, 7 men to the plate. 2-0 the count to Rio.
Rio hit .245 against lefties in the regular season, but 6 home runs against lefties as well.
Called strike inside, 2-1. Lefty-lefty matchup. Here's the pitch. It's a fly ball to left field, and it will drop foul.
Looked like he was just a little late on that ball. Could have been a nice flare for a base hit had he stuck around a little bit to wait on it, but nonetheless, Rio will stay alive.
Ryan Rio hit by pitches twice tonight. Has a single, has scored a run. Anderson the lead at first. Lund kicks and deals. Called strike 3. Rio nods and heads back to the dugout. 1 away.
That's just the 3rd time the Baycats have struck out this evening. Really impressive how they've been able to stay away from the K all night long so far.
Yeah, they came tonight swinging the bats. Aggressive at bats tonight, especially in the first couple of innings. Nolan Macabrota got it going for Barrie with a 2-run homer in the 2nd inning, and the Baycats have not looked back. 8-2. The score takes the first pitch for a called strike.
Seifa Jones is on deck. He would be taking the place of Hayden Jaco. Jones with only one at-bat in these playoffs so far.
Oh, okay. Yeah, pinch hitter coming up. Seifa Jones.
Here's the pitch. Just missed off the plate outside.
You could tell
One ball, one strike.
You could tell Macabrota really wanted to offer at that pitch, but with it drifting outside, smart of him to lay off what seemed like a kind of pitch he could do a lot of damage to.
Seifa Jones on deck. It looks like he's going to bat in Hayden Jaco's spot if Macabrota can get on. Here's the pitch. It gets away from the catcher, not far enough for the runner to advance.
You see the reaction there on on James Anderson. He had a good secondary lead, but didn't notice right away that ball squirting through Brad Verhoeven around home plate.
Alex Springer, Braden Farrington, Daniel Gore, Skylar Janice, and now Jared Lund. Roop Chanderdat using every arm available tonight. And Anderson draws a throw. The tag is there. And I don't think Anderson was trying to steal on that play, but just got a little too far off the bag and looked like he jammed his left wrist on the way back to the bag. Wasn't able to get his hand on there in time, and the tag was applied by Caden Cardozo.
Well, obviously fooled there by the move of the lefty Jared Lund, who lifted his leg up. Anderson breaking on that movement right away, and Lund taking advantage.
Again, I think it was just a case of Anderson trying to get a secondary lead. No chance he's stealing in that situation, but too far off the bag, and Lund with that sneaky move. Left-handers are always hard to get that lead off of. So it's a 1-0 count to Nolan Macabrota. Here's the pitch, or 3-1, excuse me. Pitch filed over the screen. Count full now, 3-2. Well, at the conclusion of tonight's game, if the score holds up, we will be watching Guelph and Welland. Of course, you can flip over to the YouTube channel for the Royals to watch that at the conclusion of this game. And swing and a miss by Macabrota. So that will do it, and the London Majors will take one last stab at the Barrie Baycats here in the top of the ninth, trailing by 6. It's Barrie 8, London 2, as we go to the top of the ninth inning. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on ESSA Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
Last chance here for the London Majors, top of the ninth, down 8-2, and it's brought to you by United Way Simcoe Muskoka, making poverty unignorable. To learn how you can help, you can visit uwsimcoemuskoka.ca.
Third pitcher of the night for the Barrie Baycats, closer Carlos Sano, and he's got a 6-run cushion to work with as the London Majors will try again to battle from behind to make this a ball game.
Fourth appearance of the playoffs for Carlos Sano, pitching to a 6.75 ERA through his first 3 outings. Pitched last night in London, give up 2 hits and 3 unearned runs. still closing out that 8-6 victory that's brought the Baycats to this point where they could have an opportunity to clinch with 3 more defensive outs.
Gibson Krasminski really struggled at the plate in round 1 of the playoffs. Went 0 for 3 tonight. Moved down to the number 7 spot in the order this evening. Gets ahead in the count 2-0 on Carlos Sano here. Defensive changes for Barrie. Brad McQuinn takes over for James Anderson in the left. Asafa Jones is in right field now for Hayden Jaco. 3 outs to go. Popped up foul. So the battery, Sano and Plumpton. The outfield left to right, McQuinn, Ejo, and Jones. The infield from third to first, Maves, Odd, Ando, and Macabroda.
Between innings, I saw Hayden Jaco warming in the bullpen, so he definitely could be used as an option if needed.
Swing and a miss. So Gibson Krasminski, after getting ahead in the count 2-0, now with an even count here. Energy in the crowd here at Vintage Throne Stadium, but still somewhat reserved. 3 more outs to go to finish this one off. Here's the pitch from Sano. They appeal at third. He did not go.
These fans just as engaged now as they were earlier in this game, knowing what's at stake in this 9th inning.
David Phillips got help from third base ump Ryan Jackson, who was quick with the palms out to say he did not offer. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Sano to Krasminski, and it's a high fly ball. Center field, stays in the park for Ejo. He makes the catch 1 away.
Krasminski offering at that out, what looked like to be possibly an outside pitch. Didn't get as much as he otherwise would have if it stayed further inside. Enough power to get it out to Kenise Ejo, but not enough for extra bases.
Brad Verhoeven, who moved from left field to behind the plate defensively, comes to the plate here. He's the number 8 hitter in this lineup, and a foul tip for a strike on the first offering from Carlos Sano. Baycats with 2 runs tonight in 4 consecutive innings. The 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th. Pitch from Sano. And it's a liner over the shortstop into center field. Kenise Ejo picks it up. It's a base hit for Brad Verhoeven. And Tristan Osika now will try to keep this inning alive. Our Baycat superfan Avery Matlow with the predictable double play, double play, double play chant. And boy, could the Baycats use one here.
Would be a great way to end this series effort for this defense.
Middle infield is ready. Adam Ott at short. Roy Sando at second. They'll try to turn 2 on anything on the ground. First pitch to Osika's inside.
Well, double play has gotten them out of many jams throughout these playoffs, including in the first inning of this game. Benitez got in some trouble early, but his defense bailing him out with a double play.
Runner goes. Pitch is high. No throw down. So Verhoeven takes second uncontested. Osika with a 2-0 count. After him, you get back to the top of the order, and it's Champ Garner, Victor Plaz, Caden Cardozo. Sano looks at the runner, deals the 2-0 pitch. That's a called strike. London Majors just want to stretch this out, make it interesting. A lot of work still to do. Sano to the belt. Looks at the runner twice. Now the delivery. Lifted foul, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
See Osika here being very selective with what he offers at.
7 shutout innings for for Juan Benitez tonight. Brad Grieveson in relief. And now Carlos Sano to close it. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. pitch on the way, and it's high and away. And the count is full. Absolutely love the noise this crowd is making here as Sano gets ready to deal. We got kids getting the adults wound up here.
They've been the leaders of this crowd all night long, and they haven't stopped.
They sure have been with their signs and their energy. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Sano now a throw over to second, and it bounces away into center field, but Verhoeven stays right where he is.
Not sure if Verhoeven knew where that ball was as he was diving back in. Went right through the legs of Adam Ott into center field. Even with the arm of Canisijo, best to not risk it for Brad Verhoeven.
A little surprised that Sano is paying any attention to the runner at all here with a 6-run lead, but Verhoeven was dancing around out there at second quite a bit, almost daring Sano to throw over. He did, and the ball got away. So it's Carlos Sano to Tristan Osika and a 3-2 count. 1 out in the inning. Sano taking his time, and now time is called. I think it was Osika that called it. He'll step out.
Seen that quite a few times from the London Majors hitters this evening, where they'll get to 2 strike counts and call a time, trying to throw off the pitcher's timing.
Another throw over, and it bounces off the glove of Odd, and again, doesn't get too far away, so Verhoeven will stay put.
Well, that's 2 disengagements now for Sano in this at-bat.
Allows Verhoeven to get a really nice secondary lead, because if he throws over again, he's got to get him.
You have to wonder if maybe he even decides to go on this pitch.
There it is, and it's a base hit to left field. They're going to hold the runner at third. Runners on the corners for the Majors, and it's back to the top of the order.
Well, Verhoeven had to really hold up on that ball. Not sure how close Mays was to catching, and he wasn't. He froze on contact that made sure that he wasn't going to be able to round and score, so he's stuck at third base now.
So again, another double play scenario. Not the worst case in the world here, because you got to force at second. You don't need to worry about the runner at third. It's a 6-run lead. Sano to Garner, swing and a miss, strike 1. Still just 1 out in the inning. Barrie up by 6. Top of the 9th. Here's the pitch. Outside. I know you're down by 6 runs, but is this a situation where Osika maybe goes, tests the arm of Plumpton, and force him to make a throw down?
Definitely a possibility here.
Swing and a miss. Sano not paying much attention to either base runner right now. He's just coming right at Champ Garner, the man at the plate, and he's got him on a 1-2 count.
Well, Garner struck out 3 times in Game 1 against Frank Garces. Definitely something he's susceptible to in this series.
1-2. 2 outs in the inning, and the Baycats 1 out away from punching their ticket to the IBL Championship Series. Verhoeven at third, Osika at first, 2 down, and how's this for drama? The former Baycat, Victor Plaz, with a bat in his hands and a chance to keep London's season alive.
It was Victor Plaz who told me right before Game 1 how excited he was to have the Baycats in this series, and I don't imagine that he would think that he'd be in this situation as the last hope.
Runner goes, no throw down, 2 out in the inning anyways. Tyler Plumpton elects to just eat that one, as the focus here is exclusively on the man at the plate, Victor Plaz. It's an 0-1 count. Sano to the belt. And the 0-1 pitch. Outside, and the count is even 1-1. And you know Victor Plaz does not want to be the final out against his former team. It would be a season-ending out.
He was 0 for 9 before his last at-bat, which was a double. He later scored the first run on the board for the Majors, but not a situation you think he would be in.
1-1 pitch. Sano misses outside, and it's 2 balls and a strike.
Of course, Plaz and Sano weren't teammates last year. Sano joined the Baycats this year.
Crowd here ready to celebrate. 2 outs in the ninth. It's a 2-1 count to Victor Plaz. Sano is ready. The pitch. Strike 2. And now the Baycats are a strike away from their second consecutive IBL Championship Series, and that will bring this crowd to its feet.
All the players in the Baycats dugout at the railing.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Sano to Plaz. Here it comes. Fouled over the screen. The Barrie Baycats looking for their 6th consecutive playoff victory and a trip to the IBL Championship Series. They have not trailed in 54 consecutive innings. Sano, a strike away from sending them. The 2-2 pitch. Just missed. He went down in the zone, and the drama continuing to build.
This has been a great battle from Victor Plaz. He doesn't want to see himself be the last out for his London Majors against his former team, that's for sure.
Barrie Baycats lead the series 2-0. A strike away from nailing it down. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The crowd on his feet. Sano takes a deep breath. Kicks and deals. On the ground and foul over near the on-deck circle. The at-bat will continue. About 90% of these fans are on their feet right now.
Yeah, Plaz is going to get a new bat. That one just off the cup at the end of the bat. You saw a little piece of the wood chip off. So he's got to re-prepare himself a whole new piece of lumber for a big pitch here.
So that silences the crowd for a few seconds, but they're going to jack it right back up here any moment. Baycats swept the Toronto Maple Leafs 3 straight. They're a strike away from doing the same to the London Majors and getting back to the IBL Finals. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Carlos Sano with a pitch to Victor Plaz. Here it comes. The IBL Championship Series is coming back to Barrie. The Baycats sweep the Maple Leafs, sweep the Majors, and it's back to the finals in 2024. Two teams will battle to win it all in the 2024 Jack Dominico Cup, and the Barrie Baycats will get an invite to the dance.
Just listen to this crowd at Vintage Throne Stadium. They stuck around through dropping temperatures in this ball game to see their team with a historic victory. You can tell the Baycats from the dugout, as soon as they got 2 outs, they were telling the fans, let's get loud, let's stand up, and they did just that and came in clutch in that huge at-bat to close it out.
Time to get our sports jackets back out of the closet, partner. It's time to dress up for the IBL Championship Series. The Baycats will host either the Welland Jackfish or the Gulf Royals. We'll find out. They're battling Game 4 right now as we speak. The winner of that series will play Barrie. If it's Guelph, it'll be here in Barrie. If it's Welland, it'll be at Welland Stadium. So be interesting to see how that one all shakes out.
Either way, whatever matchup the Baycats get in the IBL Finals, it will be extremely entertaining and will be a best-of-7 series. I would imagine it's going to be I would not predict a sweep in any of those matchups, but the Baycats offense, the way they've been rolling this entire playoff run, you never know what can happen.
What an amazing playoff story for the Barrie Baycats, and we are not done yet. 6 consecutive wins, 54 consecutive innings without trailing. And we will wait to find out who their opponent is for the 2024 Jack Dominico Cup. Stay tuned. We'll be right back here to bring it to you. For Julius Hern, Brian Backland, and our entire Baycats TV crew, My name is Ben Davy. Good night from Vintage Throne Stadium. We'll see you in the 2024 finals.